It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Michael, sing me the song of your people.
I'm back. Back again. Shady's back.
Shrewsy's back.
Tell a friend.
Tell your mom.
So
With
real quick, with our theme song, my kids run around the house singing our stupid theme song.
shut the hell up, really?
Yeah.
That's fucking hysterical.
They're like, it's Operation
Operation Babble with my dad.
Speaking of which, Micah actually wanted to do a podcast because we just finished up Stranger Things season 3.
Ooh.
Which is actually really good. I feel that it's getting its dick rubbed a little too hard by social media by saying it's the best of the 3 seasons, but I mean, it has its moments, and I can see why people would claim it would be best. Don't worry, guys, I'm not going to spoil nothing. I'm not even going to talk about it, but he wanted to do a podcast about that and record it today, but I'm like, what are you going to say? He's just like tells me he just wants to basically do a synopsis of the whole season. I'm like, I want to do a synopsis, dude. We'll turn that into a YouTube video, and then you can go from there. Because he has his own YouTube channel, he needs content for it. So I'm just gonna turn the camera on for him.
Don't stifle the embers of the man's passion.
He just wants on this podcast. I told him I won't put him on it because it's adult oriented.
It's a very adult oriented. I would hate to yell at him by accident like you. Fucking nerd.
Like on the last podcast, you asked me a question about Star Trek. You did not want that long ass answer.
Well, also probably didn't help that halfway through I think I insinuated that I owned some type of purple fleshlight that had a detachment that went up my the darker regions of the body.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't listened to it actually all the way through.
Well, appreciate that. Thanks. To be fair,
so you finally watched Spider-Man Far From Home.
I sure did, Michael. I sure did.
All right, so before we dive into it then.
I also watched your video.
Did you watch my 15-minute video?
God, Michael, you're adorable. With your friggin' Spider-Man sunglasses on, I was dying.
Dude, I sat down and recorded that video, and it was like 25 minutes long. By the time I was done, I was like, all right, I got to cut all of it. I was trying to make it under 10 minutes, and I was like, I can't get it under 10 minutes. What's going on?
Talk about things I say in the bedroom for 500, please.
All right, so yeah, I did my video. You watched it, and we'll talk about that, I guess, if you want. I was actually planning on dropping the audio of the video at the end of this podcast after the stupid slogan, guys. So if you want to just listen to that, feel free. Otherwise, just go to the YouTube channel and watch it. Or I think it's on our Operation Babble Facebook page as well. So it got dropped on there. So
I'm going to preface this with you can cut this if I embarrass you too much. Or if I reveal behind the curtain.
Wait, are you going to give spoilers or no?
No,
okay.
About your video. About your
Spider-Man. Okay.
I'm making fun of it on a technical level.
Yep.
As an audio guy who also edits our audio podcast and went to film school, dude, come on, where's your room tone? Your jump cuts are so horrific when it comes to the audio portion of it. Because you had no room tone on it, and you can tell. So whenever you did your jump cuts, I was like, wait, what happened? Because I couldn't actually watch the video. I turned it on because I was driving home from another town that I was working in. And, with my Eskimo family, and I was like, wait, what I was like afraid that like it was buffering or like I accidentally jumped in. I'm like, Michael, I'm so disappointed in
Dude, I rushed that video out honestly because I actually going to, do the stupid movie review bullshit where you drop in footage of the movie as you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like so annoyed that I couldn't cut the damn thing down to 10 minutes. I think I just was like, fuck it, and outputted it. And I didn't realize it until I went back and watched it on YouTube like the day later. And I was like, shit, I forgot like everything.
It was adorable. You were fanboying so hard. You were so happy. I was just like, oh man, that's great. And then oh, come on! Don't worry about your time frames, man. If I'm learning anything from YouTube these days, apparently longer form videos are becoming the jam. The new hotness.
I just there's this thing with YouTube, dude, where like their algorithm, if you're 10 minutes or more, it will push your shit up. Of course, you get more ads on your videos if you're 10 minutes or more, just based on their algorithm. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of their fucking algorithm.
Aww.
I want to earn my shit by like, tagging it right or like or you want to just fucking watch it. I don't give a shit if YouTube's going to push it up or not. I really don't care. I don't care.
Said like the truest hipster I've ever met.
Oh. Glasses.
What? Like,
there's your
my
hipster.
God. Dude, okay, are those actually prescription or do you just wear them?
Oh,
they look like sexy librarian glasses.
So they
don't even have lenses in
glasses.
them. I just asked you if they were like prescription or fake, and you literally shoved your fingers through where the lenses should have been.
Dude, I did a video of wearing those, and I looked at the camera, and I was talking in the camera, and I was using my phone when I did the video, and you couldn't tell that there weren't any lenses in there until the end of the video, and I popped back up, and I said, "You see these? There's no lenses," and I poked my eyes.
Oh my God.
I don't remember what video that was. It was probably just for like a Facebook thing or something because it's something real quick. But
dude,
yeah.
The dumbest shit I always do is I don't wear my glasses very often, so they don't really fit very well, and they're like those like plastic frames that just they don't have nose pieces. It's just the frame. So some days my eyes will really hurt, so I don't want to put my contacts in, so I wear my glasses all day long, and because I'm a big fat sweaty man, they fall down a lot, so I push them up constantly, dude. I'm telling you, like probably like every 20 seconds. So I've actually legitimately poked myself in the eye like at least a dozen times in my life because I'm not wearing my glasses.
Yeah.
And I just poke myself in the eye, pushing them up out of habit. And let me tell you, even if nobody sees it happen, it's probably one of the most embarrassing things in your life because you just feel like an idiot. And on top of that, you get the pain to remember it. It's exciting. It's good. That was a really fucking boring story. I'm fucking great at parties. I'm sorry.
Should
Should we go back to Spider-Man? That sounds so much more. Can we please insert some elevator music there?
Yeah, no, we were talking about something in the pre-show before we started recording, dude. I'm calling it the pre-show now because no one else gets to see that shit.
Oh, okay. The fluffer minutes beforehand.
So I was talking to you about how I said something about normies in my video.
Yes.
At least I'm not sure. I might have cut it out. I'm not sure. And we were discussing the fact that there's this guy that calls normies of comic books, comic book fans or whatever, are basically just those people who watch like the movies, the MCU movies, and then they think they know the characters based on just the portrayal of in the movie. And they don't actually like read the literature or anything like that. Yeah. And then I was telling you, I was like, but to me it doesn't seem that way because the MCU is its own comic book movie, not the DC. Yeah. I don't know, they throw out single issues maybe every so often in movie form, but like for the MCU, it's totally like it's its own series.
Essentially, your normies is like your guys' version of Muggles. I get it. Muggles with a hard G. I get it. Okay, so I will follow that point because I think that's a good point, and I think that'd be a good argument. or at least like a nice little bullet point, like for what's kind of happening with the diversity stuff as well, like in the media, is the idea: is it important to be accurate, or is it important to try and, I don't know, freshen up the old stuff?
Right.
And the problem is you always have to say, it's like anything in life, you need context for it, because it's not always going to be better, but it's also not always going to be worse.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I would have to say, with comic book movies, with the MCU, it's like Iron Man wouldn't work if they didn't try to stay true to the original comic books. Granted, there's a ton out there, so obviously they're not going to pull from every comic book, you know. But like, if you can't get the main structure of the character and like the main structure of what he's trying to do, or what his fucking lack of a better word, end game is, like where he's trying to grow.
Right.
It's like, why bother? Like, just make Rocketeer. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Oh,
but that's also being said, is I think with the first movie you need to be really, really passionate about that character to adapt them correctly.
You could say that about every single one of the MCU movies, and clearly over time they just have not.
And see, and then that's where the weird culture shift happens, is that I think I would have to say at a certain point, deviating from the comic books is fine, because you're dealing with actors and like the movie business, as it's, you know, it's very fluid, and you have to, you know, fix problems as they come. Maybe sometimes like actors die and you got to do something about that, or you got to do this.
Right.
Because of those, a lot of storylines could organically kind of have to change, because like maybe an actor can't be around anymore, so maybe you got to kill them off sooner than you wanted because you don't necessarily want to recast them, shit like that.
Yeah.
Because of that, I would say there is a certain point with like the mechanics of the character, you need to stay true to the comic books, but at some point you need to stay more true to the world that you created.
Yeah. Which again is something that they've been like neglecting on as of late too.
Yeah.
Is
and then,
staying true to that.
Yeah, because then you have it, because then you have a bigger issue of like, you know, then like imagine you put out a Captain Marvel. I mean, how many people really give a fuck about that character? Like, even the comic books don't really tend to do that well. But then you have an established character like an Iron Man or a Black Panther or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And you want to do those justice. You don't want to be fucking around with those characters. The other ones you can tend to adapt because it's like, I don't really give a shit. Maybe you'll give us a better version. Maybe you won't. But then also it's like, if you start like, I don't know, fucking with your own universe that you made for the sake of trying to prop somebody up, that becomes a problem. Like,
right.
Because I'll guarantee you there's a huge problem in Far From Home for me that really kind of fucks some stuff up. And it's because of, not necessarily because the movie was bad or like they did something wrong with a character. It's because they kind of fucked with their universe again, and it just is frustrating. It gets really frustrating. Well,
yeah. So back to like the main point though, and don't worry guys, we'll say spoilers before we start talking about Far From Home.
Yeah.
Just because this cast is coming out only a week and a half after.
I think so, yeah.
The movie's been released. So, like, the main thing is basically, like, a lot of... and you see this with comic book movies mostly, but you get it in Star Wars as well, where they mess with the shit and start changing the stories around and all that. But like, you get your hardcore comic book fans that get pissed off at any little thing that's not different, and it's gonna have a lot to do with like Far From Home too.
That's like, not different, or that
is different. Sorry, did I say not different? Yeah. The things that aren't that are different from the comics into the movies, and especially big things. Like in Black Panther, when they kill off like one of Black Panther's like best villains right away.
Yeah.
And then they jump to Killmonger, and then the movie's like kind of.
And then they kill him too. It's like,
Yeah.
why kill all your villains?
Yeah, he killed
Like-
2 of his best villains in one movie.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And one of them for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess it made sense in the
He could have gotten into
storyline that
Wakanda.
they did, but they
He
could have
didn't
done
need
something
Claw.
else.
He didn't need
No.
Claw. He had the fucking stupid tattoo. If he would have shown up behind the outside the dome, shown his
Yeah.
tattoo, they would have let his ass in. That's
Yeah.
insane. They
did
didn't need
it.
to kill Claw.
They did the whole Claw thing to move his story around as like, oh, he did something the king couldn't fucking do, basically. I get it. So
No, it's because Disney likes to kill Andy Serkis for some reason. They fucking bye Snoke. Good job, buddy. Glad we brought you in.
But no, there's so much shit. Fucking, this isn't the MCU like movie verse, but Iron Fist, they fucked that character hardcore.
Yeah. It was bad.
Like, and even as somebody, I'm just now starting to read Iron Fist comics again, but I wasn't like a huge fan. But even me, I was like, dude, this is the weakest thing that Marvel has. Besides Inhumans, the Inhumans show was like the worst. But Iron Fist was probably the weaker one story-wise. He was better when they did like a crossover with him and Luke Cage.
God, let me tell you, that was the time where I was like, it was the first time I was looking at him and I go, I like this actor as Danny Rand. I was like, I'm totally digging this dude. And then they split him up to go back to their show, and I'm just like, ugh, he sucks again.
And then he changed it back into like this brooding rich guy again.
It was just lame.
Yeah. The only good thing about the second season was probably like the last 3 minutes of the last episode.
Wow, what a window.
And I always tell everybody that too. I'm like, if you're going to watch fucking Iron Fist, just at least watch those 3 minutes and you will be stunned. Like, because it's the best thing. And then they cancel it. And I'm like, I wanted to see that the whole fucking season.
Yep.
Come on.
I agree. And it's like they should have started with the mystical dumbness like right off the bat, because he's a goofy kind of character, and it's just like concept. It's kind of like,
and he barely fucking wears. He doesn't even actually wear that outfit.
No, he never does.
He
never does the mask. And the closest you get, I think, is when they do the like. I think they might be flashbacks when they're doing the like old training.
Yeah,
and he wears something pretty similar, and that's like it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the same thing. I'm like, okay, why can't he have that now? Like, dude, it's a piece of fucking fabric. Go to the fabric store and make it yourself and put
Which
it
is
on.
a bummer, because the guy they got to be Luke Cage is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Did
The
you
casting
finish
for
that
him?
season, the last season of it?
No, I did the first one. I didn't really like it. It was really slow. It's hard to get through, and his villains suck. His villains are boring.
His villain in the second one was
It was just another
like
strong.
everybody.
Yeah.
They-
Well, no,
they
they,
didn't
had
really
that one
have-
dude who was like a power. He had like a weird power thing. I can't remember.
Oh.
I didn't
Shades
really care.
was his villain. To me, Shades was like the best character in that show.
See, I'd rather watch Black Lightning, and I can't get over how goofy the costume looks.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to get past the costume.
But no, like anyway, comic book guys, they get really butthurt if you go against the grain. Basically, you show them something that's not in paper form that they haven't read before. But it's like, I've always looked at the MCU as its own comic book line. It's there from start to finish. It has its own. It's set up like a fucking comic book series where you have your solos and then the joined one, or your solo and this guy shows up in the solo one. It's its own thing. It's just a visual, like a more of a how would you? Well, comics are a visual medium, but like a visual audio medium, a motion picture medium. There we go, motion picture. Medium.
Sure, why not? You mean a movie? Nicely done.
But yeah, so that's always annoyed me. And I got into an argument the other day with somebody about that fact too, that like they don't see the MCU as its own thing, that it should be shot for shot like from the comics. I'm like, then what's the point? Like, if I know what's gonna happen because I've read the comics, what's the point? And then we're going to get into spoilers real quick. Spoiler warning for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Let's just assume from now on we're doing spoilers.
Yes.
The rest of the deal.
All right. So now, with that being said, of what I just said, like, if you know what's going to happen because it's in comic book form,
Okay.
As fans of Spider-Man, we all knew Mysterio was going to turn fucking bad.
Wrong.
It really?
Yes.
Okay, as fans of Spider-Man who know the lore, how about that? Is that more
Sure.
on the spot? I guess because fans of Spider-Man, like my kids didn't know, but
Well, here's the problem. Is I think you're mixing two arguments, and that's a problem. Because let's go with first.
okay,
People don't want to see. And go ahead and repeat yourself if I phrase this wrong.
All right.
You said, what's the point of just doing a shot for shot of the comic book?
right.
I would argue, one, that's essentially what these live action remakes are, and people do want those, so you're crazy.
That's stupid.
Second, they are storyboards, essentially. There's a lot of inferring that happens in a comic book because you're between panels. A movie could actually take the best panels out, not necessarily do every single shot. They would go through all the panels, find the best bits, and then instead of having us infer, they would go more detailed in between those panels.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you could technically do a shot for shot. You'd just be removing a couple of the panels, which would be no different than if you made a storyboard for a movie you were going to make.
Now,
Because of that, I would say you should be able to do a better job, especially with lore and being accurate to your characters, like with looks, aesthetic, feel, definitely conversations at least.
yeah.
But after that, you're doing an adaptation, so not everything necessarily needs to be the exact same, and your story doesn't need to necessarily finish at the same finish line. So,
Which is what they did good with Thanos. Like they used his same like basis, but then they switched it up on us because it had nothing to do with death. It was just his own like opinions of how he wanted the universe to basically be.
And I love that altruistic villain who multi-sided, has multi-feelings, like he has a purpose, but how he's going to get there, you just don't. He's kind of like, I don't know, he's just interesting. He's really, really cool. But then you go to like Thor Ragnarok and you get like Thor's sister and you're like, oh, I'm just a villain. Or in Endgame, you get past Thanos and he's a completely different character. He's just generic one-dimensional villain number 2. You know what I mean?
He has none of that insight. And then we're supposed to believe from that, like in 2014 to 2018, he got all that insight for a being that's like thousands of years old. You know, he's supposed to be, God, no, I don't even remember how old he's supposed to be, but he's supposed to be old as fuck.
But I will support you with people who do know the character of Mysterio from Spider-Man, don't necessarily know it was going to happen, that the twist was going to happen, but people were ready for it, if that makes sense. It was like, perfect example is when I'm sitting there watching Far From Home and then that bar scene happens where the twist is revealed.
Yeah.
I'm essentially sitting there going, this is where it's going to happen.
Right.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen here. So that is kind of a bummer as a fan, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat wondering, okay, are they actually going to do this? Because, boy, I loved Jake Gyllenhaal when he was actually being the good guy.
Dude,
I preferred him much more as the good guy. I preferred him so much more as the good guy.
He had so much fun as that bad douchebag, though.
Oh, dude.
You could tell, like...
And his chemistry with Tom Holland, when they're, like, having the mentor moments, he fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
His acting wasn't bad when he makes the villain shift.
It's just a different persona that you're saying.
Yeah, and I think they kind of leaned a little too much into the like, ooh, look, I'm funny now. I'm a goofy bad guy. Like, it's like I'm fighting a jock. It's like, oh my God, fighting the captain of the football team or something. It was lame.
So basically, to close up, comic book fans, sometimes you guys take it way too seriously. To move on.
But I mean, you gotta also understand, this is years of like.
It
'Cause
is.
this
There's
was-
tons
this
of
was- this was
decades
the-
of it.
But see, this is the same problem we had with Game of Thrones. You have a bunch of people who are coming in later
Yeah.
and only talking about the movies, and they don't care if they're good or bad at all.
Right.
Again, like this whole Little Mermaid thing. They don't care if the movie is good or not. They don't. They
The
just
movie's
care.
not gonna be good or not. Period. I'm not gonna go. The only
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It won't be any worse than Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast. It'll be average.
the Lion King movie looks horrible though. Now, did you
The
see
Lion
that?
King is
It's
looking
so
worse.
bland.
It's looking worse and worse. It just there's no character to it. It's just it's really boring.
But that Mulan, damn, that shit looks
God,
dope.
that looks tight as fuck. We're definitely gonna talk about that.
right. Let's get
but,
through Spider-Man.
Well, what I'm saying is that you can't sit back and tell a bunch of people who supported the medium that made this possible. You can't tell them that they shouldn't have a strong opinion.
No, they
If
could
anything,
totally
they
have
sh-
it. It's just
they should have an opinion that's way more educated than ours.
right, but you don't get a lot of that from people. Most of the time, they're just like, "Oh, well, it's not this." So
Well,
give me a reason as to why it should be that.
Exactly.
Give me a good
Exactly.
reason as in this world, in this storyline, in this arc,
Mm-hmm.
why does what you want fit better than what actually happens?
Exactly.
So, and a lot
'cause,
of
like-
times you don't get that. You just, because most of the people that make the argument are your general bland, like, it's just not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, they have this, like, demeanor of them that is like, I need what I want, and that's why I want it because
Yeah.
I'm me.
Because that's the subjective thing. And that, like, okay, here's a good example since we were talking Thanos stuff and death. Had they introduced the idea of death, that would have brought up a whole bunch more, like, crazy ass questions. It would have bogged down the universe, and I think it could have really taken away from the personality that they decided to give to Thanos.
Right.
Um,
It wouldn't have made us feel for him like we do in Infinity War.
Well, it won't make, and you won't question anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd understand his motivations because they're one dimensional. He wants to appease this woman or appease this deity. But in this one, it's like he has this philosophy, regardless of whether or not it's wrong. He believes it so strongly that you can't help yourself but kind of go, "Oh, I mean, is he right though?" And then
Right.
as you obviously go into it deeper and deeper, you find the flaws in his thinking. But that's what makes it fucking interesting. It requires you to look at it in multiple perspectives. So that's why I think what they did with him was much more impactful than what they would have done had they just gone straight. You know, they could have, because they could have used Hela from Ragnarok to be his muse to finish it out. But at that point, it would have been so late in the game. And it would have been kind of lame. And then it's like,
They would have
well,
to push a whole nother movie out beforehand.
and then they were
honestly.
both so OP. It's just like, how would they not lose? And it was
Right.
just like, so I don't know. I completely understand, but at some point you do have to sit back and like not just go, it sucks because they didn't do it the way they did in the comic.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like,
Dude, because there's
But
so much stuff that they do in the comics that just to convey it in a movie format, it's like, this is going to take us 10 more movies just so you understand what's going on. Otherwise, you're just left confused as shit, like at Endgame. You're just like,
yeah.
what?
Because like the Stones are a great example. It's like, I would fucking love to know more about each individual stone, like what they do and how you use the power and what goes on. But it's like, God, did we need another hour of it? Probably not.
And I
don't
got
think it
some
would've
stuff to
changed
talk
anything.
about with that on something I think would be cool moving forward in the MCU.
Gotcha.
But let's get through Spider-Man, and
Okay.
then we'll hit up everybody at that. So I did like somewhat of an initial response on the podcast, like last podcast, I believe it was. Yeah. About my reaction of Spider-Man Far From Home. What's your initial reaction?
It's a great, it's a good Spider-Man movie. It is a terrible addition to the MCU. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. As like adding something to it or taking away anything from it.
Yeah, and an initial response, Homecoming is much better. It's a much better Spider-Man movie.
Because it's more Spider-Man. They don't have so much MCU related stuff within that movie, except for Tony. Well, I guess. Yeah.
I would say more because I think I'd argue that Spider-Man wasn't really Spider-Man in this one. They gave him Spider-Man moments, but he wasn't Spider-Man like he was in the first one.
Right.
Because and I'll get into that later, but yeah, that was my initial thing. Is he felt a little hollow compared to the first movie.
What do you think? And this is something I've been wanting to ask somebody, but I haven't like ran into anyone that's actually watched the movie of my friends because they're all lame. What do you think of the them changing? So in the movie, they start the movie out with that like memorial type thing right after they like show Mysterio.
The kids
they
news
do the
thing.
they do the memorial thing, which leads into the kids thing. Which that memorial made me fucking tear up, and I'm so pissed about it because it was so cheesy. I was just like,
fucking nerd.
Sucked. So they do the kids news thing about the blip is what they call it here now. They don't call it the snap anymore. When for the past 5 fucking years they were calling it the snap. Then everyone comes back, so they had to rename it the blip because they were blipped out of existence and blipped back in.
You know, because they had to do something funny. They had to.
Why not just keep it the snap? Like it sounds like Tony Stark did the snap to bring y'all back. He didn't do the blip.
Yep. Still, my favorite thing that people talk about outside of the actual movies is they call it the snapshire. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Why do you not call it that? That's amazing.
So when they were going through that, though, they did like a quick little thing on the TV, and they were talking about it and shit, doing like a backstory of, you know, they get you back into like, hey, this is right after Endgame. I think it takes place 8 or 9 months after it said.
Ooh. Sorry, I gotta do a thing. I gotta interrupt you. Because I just said snapshire, and because you keep bringing up the supremacist idea against the Black Panther for the second movie. Supremacist. Yeah.
Supremacist.
You know it could be really cool. Imagine if they started they called it the snapshire, and they thought all the people who got to stay were the good people, or the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe all the people that were blipped out were the bad people, and they weren't supposed to come back. So that now this like weird holistic group, their whole point is to do genocide against all the people who came back.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to do. That'd be cool. Because then it wouldn't just be necessarily like a white power thing. It'd be like a whole, like, they would still be like bigoted, but on like a big grandiose scale. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Be interesting.
Sorry. Anyway, that was in my head. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I did that and I wanted to say it out loud.
But
okay. Anyway.
No.
Sorry.
So my first thoughts of that, like as it was happening when they were doing the stupid news thing, and they like pulled out.
Apparently.
They pulled out into the hallway, and you see the kids walk in the hallway, and then you just see it's on a TV screen in the hallway. My first initial thought was, oh fuck, this is all we're gonna get. Like they're just gonna like Disney like threw this video in at the last minute just because fans were like, well, it's 5 years, how fucking you know, but they actually show like that one kid is 5 years older, which was pretty dope.
That. I did appreciate
they added that in, and then I like how like they keep referencing it throughout the movie.
Yeah, like the drinking, like he got blipped, he didn't get blipped, or
he didn't get blipped, or like the teacher who says like my wife pretended she got blipped away, and
dude,
I was just like
brutal.
It was like these just little small moments that like just made me happy that they aren't just like. It's over. It didn't, affect nothing. No, this shit affected lots of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
So it was cool to see it because everybody was so worried, like, oh, they're just not going to reference it, or they're just going to say all these kids were snapped away, which they did, but it was like half the fucking school was snapped away.
Yeah.
And then they showed like the kids that are 5 years older now and stuff. So it was pretty cool to see that because I definitely would have been pissed off if they wouldn't have referenced it like that.
Yeah. No kidding.
And now we're not going to get another post-Endgame movie on Earth anyways for a few years. Because you have...
Which is probably good. I mean, they were pumping these out so fast. I think that's half the reason why a lot of them have just been really just not great.
Because the next we have Black Widow and then they're going to do the Eternals, which is going to be all in space.
Yeah.
Unless they do some weird thing where they bring the Eternals back to Earth for some reason.
I'm just waiting for Guardians 3, baby.
The Eternals, 2 of the Eternals are Thanos' mama and papa, so.
Ooh, shit.
I highly doubt they're going to talk about that.
Fucking nepotism.
But no, so that's how it enters, and I like that. So what is your take on the whole blip? Because I thought the retconning of the name was just stupid. Like they tried to make it more
I don't
lighthearted.
I don't consider that. Oh yeah, and I think, but you know, the kids call it something different. I didn't see that as like that's what the world's calling it. That's what the kids are calling it on their stupid new show.
Well, no, because they said it on the airplane. She's like, he got blipped. He's not 21.
Oh, okay.
And so
well,
she
maybe,
says they say
maybe that's
it.
maybe that's a continuity.
Even the teacher,
the
teacher says my wife pretended to be blipped away. She faked being blipped away. He didn't say
well,
snap.
he's at the school. He would know the thing.
And
he would know the reference.
Yeah.
I guess. I think it's just a bad continuity thing, maybe. So I don't think it's like world breaking. It's a little dumb, but it's not world breaking. I thought it was a little cheesy. I think it took a lot of weight away from what actually happened. I kind of wish we would have had a real memoriam, and then
Instead
maybe
of
it
school
bled.
one.
And then maybe they did one like down the road,
Yeah.
like 10 minutes into the movie later, like they have to watch it in science class, and then he has to leave or something.
But then that kind of would have been like like kind of like how they did the stupid Captain America in the gym class thing.
Yeah.
In the first one. So it kind of would have been like, okay, we've done this before. Just do something different real quick.
Which, I mean, to be fair, this movie kind of does that a couple of times. But
although they're watching a video of Captain America when he's a known criminal, so why is that still?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, to be fair, the teacher says that, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I know he's kind of like he's like some like war criminal now, but like, you know, we gotta watch it.
The one I didn't get though in the memorial is like they show Captain America, but did Captain America die in those
Not
9
yet.
months, 8
God,
months?
we fucking brought that up too. I go, yeah, it was weird in Endgame. Like everybody act like old man Cap just kind of fucked off afterwards.
Right,
It's like
he
he's
just
there now.
he
It's
gave
like,
the shield away and then like floats off into dust like
yeah,
Odin
I was
did.
like, yeah, what the fuck? I was like, what? You're not gonna go have a beer and visit him at like Cap's nursing home? Like, what the
Right?
fuck? I was like, I that's another problem that we came up with while we were talking about it. I
Yeah.
go, Bucky would still hang out with Grandpa Cap. Like, why not?
And he didn't look that badly out of shape, dude. Yeah.
Well, and also, wouldn't he have aged like way slower because of his serum? Isn't that like
I
a
guess
thing?
so, but they don't also say like how long he was gone, where he was even fucking at.
You
It's
know
all a big
you know where
mystery.
he was. That's a lie. He went back to Peggy. You
That's a different
assbag.
universe then. Maybe he just kept jumping back into different universes, sleeping with
Wow.
young Peggy
Boy,
for like hundreds of
Boy.
years or some shit.
boy, oh boy.
Because he has the suit, he can jump as many times as he wants, and then he could just jump right
if he
back
can
into
get the
his
pimp
time.
particles, maybe.
Oh yeah, he
I don't
could
care.
get 'em.
Don't stop dragging me into that terrible dark hole. That was all fine. It was cute. It set the tone because you know you want this one to be a little more fun.
Yeah.
It was fine. It didn't really bother me.
So I don't know. I love the movie though. As you could tell if you watched my YouTube thing, I just went all nerded out on it.
Yeah. Fuck this movie with the I hate how cavalier they were about his fucking identity.
Spider-Man's?
Yeah, he's just fucking walking around with the mask off all the time. Just constantly.
Yeah, and there you'd think there'd be cameras and shit in the back room or something.
Constantly. Like when I'm like fucking fine when he's talking to like Aunt May and Happy in the back, like during his little speech thing, like looked like the VFW or whatever. And I was like, fucking put your mask back on, you dipshit. Like a waiter or something could walk through or something could happen. And then when he's supposed to go back out, he like jumped through the curtains and came out and he didn't have the mask on. I'm like, put the mask on. Why is the mask not going on? And then you find out that he had to like go through another set of curtains. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then he's like on the bridge with Zendaya at the end. I fucking hate the reveal of that, by the way. Like, That was fucking lazy and pathetic. Holy fuck.
Which reveal?
When Zendaya, like, announces that she knows that he's Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was fucking pathetic, dude. It was so lazy. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
think
there
of
was
all
a
the
lot
other
better
ways
ways
that Spider-Man
to do it.
got
And
pulled out.
I like that they played it off though afterwards, and she's like, "Really? I was just like 60%."
But see,
sure.
but that's the thing though, is they do the joke so you don't think about it.
Right.
It's like, oh, but that was funny though. It's like you could have done that after she found out. You could have had that same conversation on the bridge.
Yeah.
After she had actually found out. Like during the Night Monkey scene when they're fighting the elemental and something happens. You remember how Mary Jane found out that Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man?
Yeah, he saved her life.
Yeah, and he's fucking holding on to it, and it's like really stressful moment, and he just finished fighting Doc Ock, and all this stuff happened, and he's like straining. He goes,
in the
"Can
same
you move?
movie that half of the fucking subway station saw who he was."
And he's like, "It's kind of heavy. Like,
Yeah.
can we do that?" And it's like, oh my god, like, can we do something cool like that, please?
Right.
That would have been dope. See, the only reason why that train thing works is because cell phones weren't as prominent back then. You didn't have fucking like YouTube and like, you know, that's the only way I can pass that one off.
See, I think that's, and we'll get to it, but that's why they did what they did at the end. And I heard that from a few people too. Like, it makes sense in this world that's why Marvel did what they did of revealing who he is, that he is Spider-Man, that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like, because in the world, I mean, the fucking kid's running around on the rooftops in another country doing his Spidey shit without his costume on whatsoever. And then he puts on the stupid little, like,
the like masquerade
the masquerade mask, yeah. And we're just supposed to not realize, oh, it is Peter Parker because it's his same book bag on his back.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a backpack. He's got the same goddamn outfit on. And, like, can we talk about the fact that I understand these teachers are supposed to be bumbling idiots, but they're on a vacation with, like, apparently the smallest class in the universe. There's fucking 10 people. It's like their class trip had, like, 8 people in it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? My choir trip when we went to New York and sang at fucking... on Ellis Island, we had like 80 people.
You gotta remember though, it probably depends on how many kids were actually snapped away before, how many kids are still in that class.
Why, you think they didn't get their permission slip signed for the fucking
How
prom
many
trip,
permission
Michael?
slips there are? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Are parents gonna be willing to just let their kids go away after this mass thing just happened less than a year ago?
Yeah, and calm down, nerds. I get it. That was a nitpick. That was me just being hyperbolic. To get to the real point, these 2 fucking teachers never realize that Peter is constantly not there, and then when he just randomly shows up, they're like, "Oh, it's cool."
It's like, oh, there you are, Peter.
Yeah, you're fine. We're in another goddamn country.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me right now? And then, like, the Spidey suit in his suitcase. Like, come on, Aunt May, fuck you. You would not do that. This makes no sense. It's so dumb. They do really dumb shit for the sake of a joke, and it really kind of annoying. They do it throughout the entire thing. Again, back to the bar scene where the big reveal with Mysterio happens.
Yeah.
They just fought the elemental thing. And they're on the news with Night Monkey, and they're calling him Mysterio, and everybody saw it. It's a big thing. They're both literally sitting in their fucking costumes in the bar.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people there. I was telling Hannah, I'm like, why are not a bunch of people coming over and talking to them or taking pictures or freaking out? Or why doesn't he have his fucking mask on? It's like, this is stupid. And I'm like, this is obviously the reveal. None of these people are real. They can't be, because everybody would be freaking out right now.
I think 50% of them were real, weren't they?
Just his minions in his group or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like the 4 people. It's like Janet, old guy from...
What did you think about the Mysterio character is technically a Mysterio group in this series? You know, that's basically what they're doing. It's because in the comics and the cartoons and shit, he was able to like just do it all by himself.
I liked him. I would have preferred if it was just the dude from Iron Man 1.
Okay.
The guy who got yelled at by Obadiah.
Yeah.
I liked him. And that really helped tie in all the way back to the first movie, which was great. And the guy kind of had that's a lot of drones and tech. So him having somebody to at least kind of micromanage totally fucking made sense.
Well, they also, like, the whole tie-in with Barf back to Civil War is also because Civil War is the first movie Spider-Man showed up into.
Oh! That was when I sank into my chair and I said,
but why?
God
Tell me why, though, because I knew that was going to piss you off.
Movie.
Because when it first happened, when they did the reveal, and then he started doing his big old bad guy speech, I'm going to say everything. But they did it.
Cringiest scene in the movie.
They did it in a way, though, that makes sense, because it's like, we're going to show you this stuff, but he's just basically saying it to, like, thank these people, which they did it. They executed it well. They executed it well compared to other shit.
It's dumb. The speech is super cringy.
I loved it. It was
super
perfect.
fucking cringe.
It was showing you how much of a narcissistic asshole this guy was.
But to change him on a dime that fast, it just, I don't know. It took away the weight of the reveal and like how good his acting was. It looked so good when because he was playing that mentor role.
Yeah.
Fucking sublime, dude. Probably one of the best moments, probably the best line delivery in the entire movie is that moment when Peter kind of shuts himself down when he was talking about the multiverse shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, never apologize for being the smartest person in the room. And I go, fucking Christ, dude, he nailed it. And I usually don't like Jake Gyllenhaal in like anything. I was so on board for him to be the actual good guy in this movie and really fuck with me. I was so ready for it. But when everybody dissipated in the bar and it was revealed to be a hologram, I go, oh, that was really well done. That was good. It was good. It was fine. And then they're like, speech. And then he gets up on the speech wearing just his onesie. And I go, oh, fuck. What is happening? Don't do this. Please don't do this. And then he goes, Janet from blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no, I'm watching Archer. And then he goes, and then he does the thing with the guy from from the first Iron Man. And I'm like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And then I saw the scene about the barf technology in Civil War.
Yeah.
I sank in my chair and I go, please don't do this to my favorite movie. And they retconned one of the best scenes in that movie.
Didn't really retcon it because honestly,
they made Tony Stark a villain yet again. Dude.
Okay, so
they stole the exact
scene.
same storyline from Iron Man 3.
Before we did this, I made sure to go back and listen to his speech again because I knew it was going to bother you because
it drove me crazy.
When he does the speech the first time, like the first thing that popped into my head was like, why the fuck are you making Tony Stark, who just gave his life for the universe and built the fucking MCU, why are you making this character a villain? Like, because that's what it comes off as.
Again.
Yeah.
Again. Because this is like the third time they've done
But
it.
if you watch that scene again, I watched it again and I listened and I was like, okay, he's basically... So Tony Stark fired him because he said he was unstable and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much the way he explains everything, it's proving Tony Stark right that the guy's fucking unstable. The whole rest of the movie after the reveal proves that Tony Stark was right and the guy is fucking unstable.
But it's his tech, and he took it and then renamed it and did a shitty thing to it.
Well, I mean, that happens all the fucking time in big tech companies.
But what I'm saying is that they've already done this twice. And that was essentially the plot for Iron Man 3. He made his villain that way. They also pretty much did that for Iron Man 2. And I'm not like, I mean, Iron Man 2, not also. But it's just shitty. He just died. We literally the last movie, he makes the biggest sacrifice in the world. And then your first movie, the thing you do is you villainize him one last time. Granted, regardless of whether or not Tony did the right thing, the way that they present it in that context makes Tony look like a dickhead yet again. Especially changing it to Barf. Yeah. Also changing the name to Barf is another like condescending shitty thing he did. It just seems like it's like why even bother doing this? We could have had I was saying to Hannah, why not let him be unstable and he stole the technology.
Yeah.
There you go. He could have been a thief. He would have had the whole thing. The guy who worked for Obadiah would have probably still worked in the Stark industry. To have that guy steal it for him.
I want to know how many of the people in the Mysterio group were like snapped away and how many were still there, and how long were they planning this?
See, that's a good idea.
Because I want to know, were they planning it for the last 5 years? Because they said that Janet is the one that found out about the glasses being handed off to Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, when did they start playing this? Because they literally just gave him the fucking glasses.
Yep. Well, and the glasses didn't exist until Infinity War. That we know of.
Right.
So.
But then you also have to think, too, like, and again, I love the movie, but you're also thinking, like, okay, Tony didn't know if Peter Parker was going to be brought back to life or not for sure in Endgame when they were going through all this shit.
Yeah.
Why would he make the glasses only used on Peter Parker?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
And it's technology, and not only that, he had these fucking drones in Endgame that he could have brought in and just like slaughtered, and they could have been in incognito,
the Wakanda fight or something.
Everyone, like, I'm like, wait a minute, because after I watched the movie, I thought about it. I was like, why the fuck didn't they use those in Endgame? Like, he had a whole army. They were literally scrounging for their lives. He could have just...
Or Infinity War.
Yeah.
Or they don't even establish when the satellite... At least I don't think so. They didn't even establish when that satellite with all the drones in it was built.
No.
So that could have been as early as Civil War, because maybe he knew about the drones back then.
Right,
so
because that's when they had the... No, it probably was before then. What one was it? Age of Ultron. Because he kept always trying to build a net around the world. That would make more sense right there. That's your net. And he also had the satellites up there that had like the Hulkbuster suit and all that shit. So that's basically shooting everything down to Earth that he needs. And holy fuck, those drones, there was hundreds of those damn
Dude,
things.
and they're like ultra powerful too. They're like big. And I don't know, man. I just didn't like it. It retconned a lot of stuff, and it makes a lot of problems. We could have just kept moving forward. We could have just moved forward.
It was one of those things, like, I saw what they were trying to do. They're like, you know, and so it'll be interesting. There's one part that I loved, and I was wondering if you were going to like it or not. When Spider-Man is building his suit on the airplane, and they play the AC/DC music.
I'm very 50-50 on that. I am very 50-50. I love him kind of building his suit. I think that's kind of neat. I don't like how quickly he adapts to using it. I've never seen him use it before. I don't know why he's so... Like, he's, like, shoving his hand in, and, you know, Happy gives him, like, that, oh, it's so much fun to watch him do that, like Tony used to.
They've made reference to him doing shit with Tony in that lab in previous movies, so I would assume that he would learn the tech that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. And then they do the music, and I'm like, oh, I mean, of course. In the fucking theater, I'm like, he goes, I got the music. I go, oh, Hannah, oh, hell yes. And then they put on the song, and then I was like... And then I just got mad because I was like, why was this not an Endgame? Like, why did we not hear Shoot to Thrill or something?
You know why it wasn't an Endgame?
Because they had to put it in this one.
No, because Happy wasn't there to turn it on for him. There you go.
There you go. No, that seems perfectly fine.
I loved it. I
hate
was
the idea of him
with it.
I do hate the fact that he built a suit, though.
Yeah.
What? He builds a fucking useless suit.
Yeah, he doesn't really build, you have all the tech there. You literally could have just made yourself another Iron Spider suit.
Why didn't Happy just bring the irons?
Right.
Why did he just bring it?
Well, I don't think he understood what was happening at the time either when Peter finally gets a hold of him, because he shows up and he's like, I don't know what's going on, like, because Peter was like, are you fucking real? He's, basically he's like going to beat the shit out of him if he's fake or something.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. The whole time I'm just like, well, why isn't the nanosuit there? It's obvious. The movie just had to get rid of it because it was too OP.
For, Iron Man's nanosuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just had
he also had his built into his arc reactor area.
No, I'm saying, Iron Spider.
It wasn't a nanosuit. That wasn't
his-
Nano, was it? Oh yeah,
his
yeah, it
Iron
was.
Spider?
Yeah.
It's floating in that dumb little
Yeah.
thing.
Which
It's
is
like,
the
why wouldn't
first
he-
time I've ever seen that thing, which was kind of cool.
That
I
was
was like,
weird.
oh, that's pretty dope.
That was weird. I was like, it was cool. I thought it was neato. But I was like, why wouldn't the fuck? Why not take it? Why would you
I
not
got a
take-
question though. Unless Happy gave him that tank, which then Happy would need to know what that tank is for, how to get the charger for that, because
Ah,
he first
fuck.
gets the suit in space basically, and then he comes back and Tony dies, so he's never had a chance to get a charger for it. So unless
just-
Shuri made it for him, you know.
Fuck off. No. Fuck all that. No. Fuck
It's like,
all
don't
that.
make sense.
God.
Also,
Fucking
that's
Shuri.
another one. I'm like, why didn't he ask where Black Panther was?
Oh, Black Panther, Captain Falcon, Winter Soldier, anybody in Wakanda. Yeah, I mean.
Or anybody in New Asgard?
Thank you. Yeah. Valkyrie, you could be pretty useful right now.
Right.
Like, hey, where's that Pegasus you got? Could you come show up a little bit?
And where does she
He-Man
get the
is up?
Pegasus from in
Fuck
Endgame?
off, dude. Don't get me back to Endgame. Get the fuck out of here.
But
I get it. Toys. That's what the suit was for. I don't even particularly
So-
like the red and black suit. I think it's lame. I prefer the traditional red and blue. And if you were gonna do something like, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
make it a little more, I don't know, aggressive, or maybe more tactical for a drone that's gonna shoot at you.
yeah.
You have a fucking nano suit that's
They did
bulletproof.
it. It's that one suit because it has the thing. He should have given it a cape. Oh, he should.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing. No, I said he should have had a cape for the Night Monkey one. I thought that would have been hilarious. I thought that would have been fucking hysterical.
I just
I could
watched,
not believe I couldn't believe there wasn't a Spider-Verse fucking reference in this. I almost
No.
wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
You could argue the multiverse, but no, fuck you. Because at least he could have said, multi. Do you think there are other Spider-Men out there? And then he could have said something like, in fact, I've actually heard stories of Spider-Women.
Yeah.
Da-ding. And it wouldn't even have been pandering, because you could have just been like, ooh, is he talking about Spider-Woman, Madam Web, or fucking Spider-Gwen?
But the whole thing.
Ghost
was
Spider. He could have
that-
said Ghost Spider.
That guy was basically everything he was saying for the storylines was being fed to him from the script supervisor, basically.
Yeah, but we didn't know that
So-
until later.
I know, but yeah. Which I fucking love that.
That was pretty funny. I
They
enjoyed
just
that.
like take a big jab at script writers and everything, and basically even at their own movie is like how
But the fact-
unbelievable like a lot of the end acts are and
Yeah.
shit is freaking great.
That's the big part of the origin that a lot of people don't even know Mysterio from, even from the comic books or the cartoons. Some people don't even realize that he was like a special effects guy in
yeah, he
the
was
movie industry.
in before that he was in Thespian. He was Thespian in the theater.
Yeah, and so
So-
like, so I loved that aspect, and I mean,
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts I think was I love the fact that he has to wear the stupid dome, and he's literally just wearing the CGI suit that he actually wears.
Yeah.
For them to put the costume
Yeah.
on him, which is just super meta, and I think that's great. When they like 3D float the fucking costume onto him, you know, when he's testing out the drones pretty much before the final battle, and they find out that Peter has that piece of the hologram, which is
Yeah.
super fucking convenient and lame. When the suit comes on and his hand's all jacked up, and he goes, what's going on with my hand?
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking hysterical. I loved that.
It
I don't
has
know
so
why.
many like little things too in this movie that are just like, you know, they probably didn't think they were gonna hit as big as they do. At least with certain people, of course, you know. My biggest one was, and I mentioned this in the video, but I'd never mentioned it on the podcast because I didn't want to spoil any of the movie. But my biggest thing was when they're going through. So it's when Mysterio finally gets Spider-Man like through the fucking his like trip out show, his show basically. Like when Mysterio like pushes him out the wall, and then he's just Spider-Man keeps falling through all this shit.
Which one? The first one when he was in the warehouse, and then
Yeah,
they
the
kicked
first
him
one
out
was
into
the
thing?
warehouse. He
Okay.
kicks him out, and he's going through all these things, and it's like cinematically, I think it's like one of the better ways that they could have handled Mysterio's powers. Kind of
Yeah,
like in
I agree.
the comics, they always showed like these like weird like trippy images that would be around Peter's head, and then in the cartoon, they kind of did what they were doing here, where it was just Spider-Man kept dropping down into random shit and falling into stuff, and it was pretty cool. So to see that in live action was awesome. But then when they get to Tony's grave, and they stayed on his like grave for like a second before the next thing happens, and that made me tear up because I was like, "Fuck you guys! Why'd you have to show me his grave?" And then Iron Zombie pops out, and I love it because it's a reference to the Marvel Zombie series, and it was the one thing I was telling you in the podcast. I was like, I was not fucking expecting it. And I didn't know I wanted it as much as I wanted it now. Because they threw it in there.
I like that, but because I liked it, I actually got a little annoyed because I think they had a huge miss on that. Because you see all the Iron Man memoriams all over the world, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed that, like, obviously they made it a worldwide thing.
Right.
I thought that was really dope. But they didn't bring it back to, like, being somber again. I really cannot believe there wasn't a moment where Peter didn't actually go to his actual grave.
Yeah.
And sit and like
well,
you know,
it is 9 months after the fact.
But here's the thing though. Let me paint it for you because this is what I was thinking. He gets the glasses, right? He's super pumped about it or whatever. I wish he would have gotten the glasses maybe a little earlier. Cuz he gets them after he goes on the trip, right?
Yeah, he's already on the trip when Nick Fury gives them to him.
So I wish he would have gotten them earlier and preferably from Happy. I would have preferred he got him from Happy.
Yeah.
And then he would have went to the grave site and had his like kind of just like a out of his mind kind of talk. Like he's just like, you know, Tony, I don't know if I deserve this. I wish you were still here. That kind of moment.
Right.
Because he's such a brilliant actor. You knew that was going to be really, really strong.
Yeah.
So then you would have known what the gravestone looked like. So then when that hologram illusion thing hit, I think that would have hit your heartstrings a little bit harder, and then it would have really fucked you up when he would have popped out. I feel like we didn't have that strong Peter Tony moment that we should have had in this movie,
right?
Because it was like
they had in the last 2 movies that they were in.
Yeah, and I was like, and like the way I was speculating was, I refuse to believe that Tony constructed these fucking glasses with mechanics so Peter could use them, and he didn't build in some kind of message for him. And why is it Edith and not Friday? I was curious about that.
Because it's an acronym for something, right?
I guess. I'm sure it was probably funny, but I just felt like it would have felt more personal if it was Friday. It was like, oh, the AI that worked with Tony right before he died, and then I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of misses. There was just like Tony died in the last movie, therefore we just can't seem to have his presence in this movie.
Right.
We didn't have any Tony Stark presence. We had a bunch of Iron Man presence. And I would say because of all the Iron Man stuff, the only times you saw Tony was with those flashbacks, and then when I felt like they villainized him one last time. So I was kind of annoyed that I was like, the only time we really get the Tony Stark, the Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark moment, it's not satisfying, and it made me kind of upset. But that could just be me being a nerd, reading into it too much. But Tony's and Peter's relationship has been one of the coolest, strongest things throughout the last like 3 movies, pretty much since Homecoming.
They kind of turned like his death too, and like what they kind of like evolved his death and his character and other aspects of the Spider-Man Peter Parker relationship into kind of like the Uncle Ben relationship of it, because we don't get Uncle Ben's storyline in this series whatsoever, so we don't get the whole the
father figure type deal.
Yeah, and the whole great
responsibility crap.
Yeah. So I feel that's what they were doing with this, but
it just felt kind of missed. I just felt like there was a lot of moments that you could have had, and it would have been nice to hear Tony's voice one last time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it would have been cool.
It would have been cool to have him in the glasses, or I don't know. I would say there's going to be a hidden message in the next one, but there won't be.
Just a quick, it would have been nice, just a quick thing. Hey, Pete, thought I'd do this.
Yeah.
You know me, contingency plans and whatnot. So, hope you came back from the bag or whatever.
Don't worry, you'll see Spider-Man in the Black Panther movie. You'll be good.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I don't know. That felt like a miss, but yeah. But I mean, all that huge fight scene and with all the illusions and stuff was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And we watched it in 3D just because it was the only way to get
Wait,
good
which
seats.
one? The first one or the?
I really like the first one, the warehouse one.
Yeah.
The second one, the second one felt kind of unearned, but it was kind of cool at the same time.
The one where he's running through the hallway.
He uses his spidey sense and runs through his Peter.
And I get it because they were like they were leaning into like how it was like acting up, kind of like how they always fucking did in the TV show and stuff like that. Like, you know, he always had that issue where his spidey sense wasn't working at a specific time frame in his life.
Or because it's the first time he's dealing with illusions and things that are like bending his mind. It's like, can I trust it?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it is working well, but my you know, my other senses are telling me
right.
No,
and you watch it evolve too throughout the movie. You get to watch it evolve because then at the end when he almost gets shot in the head, he senses it right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the illusion stuff they were doing was pretty dope. I enjoyed that a lot. They did a really good job with Mysterio. I mean, there was no reason that this... I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this character couldn't have worked, and they nailed it. You know, the dome didn't even look stupid because they put that, like, weird cloud in it. I thought that was neat. His powers were kind of cool. I wish they would have maybe had him have to have a moment where he kind of explained his powers. I think that would have helped with his lie a little bit more and a little bit better.
It's one of those things you don't really get a whole... cover on it, but I mean, with Mysterio, you really never get like a full like how you do that, you know.
But see, but that again, that's another moment where the adaptation could have maybe done something a little cooler,
right?
Grounded it. I mean,
they really did with the drones and shit to make it like that's how he does his illusions and stuff. So, which
I was curious, is there a line when he ever says he tells the drone to go to like max, like power? Because he set him to only 60% to do extra damage. Was there a point?
I don't know.
Because there was a point where he said, like, execute, you know, send everything out, but he never, like, increased their power that I remember.
I don't know.
So that sounds dumb, but it was kind of a little nitpick. I was like, wow, okay, we're still at 60%, so, I mean, technically it's that. But, I mean, getting shot by a bullet at 60% speed, I imagine, will still hurt as much as 100%.
Right.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I like
even if you are fucking Spidey.
No, I like the last fight scene though, like when he has to deal with the holograms, and you get to see like him tear the fuck out of the drones, and it's all like in the dark too, so you really get to see like Spider-Man like move, and it gives you almost a glimpse of like this is an older Spider-Man though. It's not like the Tom Holland that we see without the mask on. This is like a more of a Andrew Garfield kind of Spider-Man scene almost.
Okay. I
loved it.
I like the fact that he finally had to deal with something without his web shooters on, because he had to do that in the first movie too.
You said something about that before, and I was like trying not to say anything.
I was really happy that happened. I wish they would have made it more dramatic though, like in the cartoons where it was lame. Like maybe he was trying to do something and then he realized he ran out. Right. And then like maybe like broke a rib or something and was like, fuck. And then
you don't want him to do the whole like I'm shooting across and then I'm out and then
I don't want it that lame. I'm
because
talking about
done
in the
that.
movie. No, but I was talking more about in the movie.
Right.
You know, he's just standing there going, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's like it would have been cool if he was trying to do like the thing where he's like trying to dodge through a couple of the drones.
Yeah.
And then he tries to web one and it's like oh shit. And like,
well, I think he was like, didn't he like turn around to try and shoot one of them and then realize he was out, and that's when he looked around to see what he could do.
But that's what I'm saying. It would have been kind of cooler if he was trying to do something, realized he ran out, and then he fell and like slammed into a car. Yeah. And it's like, fuck, I'm out. You know,
like when he was on fire or some bullshit like that.
God, I hated that, by the way. I was like, get in the water, dude. Get in the water. Because he's not in the fucking other. It's like, it's a spandex suit, dude. I'm not for nothing, but if I'm on fire right now, I'm pretty sure it would hurt. Yeah. Regardless of whether or not I have super strength. Oh. That was a little annoying.
There's one thing with Spider-Man that I've always liked is like you can't ever see his body until his suit gets destroyed. And I always feel it's kind of like narrows down your search then if you're trying to figure out who Spider-Man is, because then you automatically know he's a white dude. At least that Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So I'm like, guys, you should like really work on not ruining your suit so people can't narrow down the search.
Oh, you mean like maybe bring your nanotech suit that's super fucking P and probably bulletproof and can apparently survive in space?
Right. Like they could develop so many cool suits on that thing. Like I don't see why he didn't. It would have been awesome just to see him like just feel like fuck it, make an Iron Man suit. I'm going out there as Iron Man. Just to
fuck, dude. Let's see, what else do we got?
Because this franchise loves Iron Man to death, and don't get me wrong, I love it too. But it was like, you know, nice to not have to think, oh, well, Tony's just gonna come in and save the day again. Yeah. You know, because now you actually have to do a good storyline with characters that we don't love as much. Mm-hmm. So this will give the writers something to fucking do, since they're screwing over Black Widow by doing a prequel movie.
James Gunn will do good on Guardians 3. I think we'll be happy.
Yeah.
And Thor will finally be handled well. I think.
Don't know if he's gonna be in it though.
Thor?
Yeah.
He absolutely will be.
Because they were doing he wrote the Guardians movie before they even did Endgame and all that shit. And then
they just gotta throw him in. They just gotta throw him in. It's fine.
I would feel if they're going to deal with Adam Warlock that they would need Thor to like combat his power and shit. Yeah. So at least to like get him to chill down somewhat. As long as they don't call in freaking Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking hate her. Let's see what else.
What'd you think about J.K. Simmons showing back up?
Oh, fuck you, dude. Who didn't love that? Seriously, who didn't love that?
I really feel though that it would have been better if they would have ended the movie and not made that the mid-credit scene. Like that would have ended it, because you could tell they shot it as one thing and then they cut it just to make it a little oomph. I'm like, well, what if people don't stay for that? You just fucked yourselves on that. Like
I would really like to know the aesthetic reason why they didn't give him the same hair from the Sam Raimi movies. Was it to just be like maybe they're gonna have J.K. Simmons in the universe now for the next movie, and they just wanted to change up his look for this universe versus. So he was
I mean, I know he's bald now. That's how he looks. So maybe because it was just probably like a quick shoot, and he's just like they were probably just like get it over with, shoot it now like this. I'm an older guy, and you know this. It wasn't the Daily Bugle newspaper, but the
news.
It was like internet news type thing. That's what it was.
Yeah, sure. I liked him being there. I hated the reveal of his identity. Hated it.
I did not like that because I'm like, well, we know we're getting another solo Spider-Man movie. It's in contract that they're gonna do another one with Disney and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, where are you going from here? Unless you just like start the other movie out with like, oh, Peter's, you know, it was all fake and a teenager can't be Spider-Man. Come on, you know. Or it would be really cool if you got the trial of Spider-Man. And then you bring in Daredevil as his lawyer. It doesn't.
I mean, I'm sorry. It just doesn't work though.
Come on.
He has Edith glasses.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Edith would have. You're telling me that this program wouldn't have backlogged everything that fucking thing has been doing for the last month?
He probably wasn't thinking about it though. He didn't even think about asking it or nothing. He just made sure all the illusions were shut down.
What? What are you talking about? Who?
Peter Parker. He was like, they made sure the illusions were shut down and they sent the drones back. I thought he was going to have them self-destruct, but he had them sent back. So, and then at the same thing though, it's like, I'm wondering, because in the video that they show, they have Edith talking to Peter Parker, or to Spider-Man. And she says, do you want me to execute all whatever? And he's like, yes, terminate all. And then it says it. It's like, okay, if he killed somebody with those robots, where are those people?
Thank you. Yep.
Like, why are you guys holding it? Like, okay, so he might have killed this one guy. We're going to hold that on to one guy who saved the whole fucking universe. Well, was part of saving the universe.
In the eyes of people, he like saved all these places. also, again, it was just like, but like Edith would be his proof.
Yeah.
There you go. That Quentin's a fucking liar, so don't
Not
believe
only
anything
that,
he says. He's just saying it.
Mysterio's whole thing was trying to create Avenger level threats.
Yep.
And if you're creating an Avenger level of threat, don't you think some of the other Avengers would show up?
Thank you.
Unless they're in the stupid space station with
The Justice
Jackson, with Nick Fury, the real Nick Fury.
Michael? Oh, Sam.
And there's rumors going on that that's Nick Fury creating Sword to do a whole thing. Sword's like the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, thank you for mansplaining that to me. But
Didn't
also,
know if you needed, no.
But also with the fucking Skrulls. Like, go to hell. Go to hell with all of that.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all that. And nice Sagoo, fuck that reveal. Completely fuck everything about that reveal.
So
that
I'm
Skrull
guessing
shit
they
was
did
so goddamn dumb.
Like they could have done. I mean, it makes sense though if you watch the movie.
Why?
Because
say it. Why? Why does it make sense?
Because Nick Fury wouldn't have been that stupid to fall for that guy's bullshit.
What are you talking
so easily?
about?
He wouldn't have been like, because in the movie before they do the reveal, he said Nick Fury's character, which is actually Talos, says, "Oh, I had doubts," and then Maria Hill's like, he didn't doubt anything. Nick Fury would have always had a fucking doubt.
Okay, that's fine, but if they have a line to Nick Fury, why wouldn't they be giving all that information?
They explain
to
that in that scene when they're like, we gave the glasses to the kid, and then and then things just got a little out of hand because they pretended to still be them when they weren't supposed to.
But what? But
they just got in over their head, like they thought that they could be like, oh. But then again,
it took away all the cool fucking moments. Like, when was the last time you saw Sam Jackson and Maria Hill being fucking badass? And like one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie is
the rocket.
You got me?
Yeah.
You got me? I got you. Come on, dude. If that wasn't like almost one of those like sit up in your fucking chair and throw your hands in the air kind of moments. Like, it was so fucking good. And then you find out it's not fucking them. And then you wonder because of Captain Marvel and all their bullshit, how long has it been? How long have they been playing them?
According to the filmmakers, granted it's not in canon because we don't know, but according to the guys, that Nick Fury has been Nick Fury throughout all the movies. This is the only
except
time
this
he was
one, apparently.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, it's so dumb. Not you, Michael, but fuck them. Like, fucking Christ. It's so dumb.
The only one I question is because they said Nick Fury, the guys that did the movie and Feige and all them, said Nick Fury was the Nick Fury that was at funeral. Yeah. But then Talos Nick Fury says, I was going to talk to you at the funeral. Unless Nick Fury said, I was at the funeral. I didn't give these to him because of this, and that. That's like, the only explanation. Story. Right. Yeah.
But it just makes you ask questions, and it's so dumb. And it was just like, why? What was it for?
Yeah.
Well, to show that Sam Jackson was on the ship. But why? Nothing happened.
Just to lead up into whatever, whatever.
I know, but it's so.
It's the thing is with this movie is we're not getting another Earthbound movie for a long time that takes place after Endgame, like I said. So I don't see why they needed to do that end cutscene unless Sam Jackson being in space has something to do with the Eternals movie.
But I so don't care because it just wasn't even good. It doesn't even have to do anything with it. Remember the old credit scenes where it's like Cap will show up in the next one, or like here's the Tesseract, or here's this, or like Nick Fury fucking shows up to make the Avengers, or like it was always useful. I mean, every now and then there was one or two that were just like, oh god, we need an end credit scene and we forgot.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was kind of rushed.
And now was that all? Because people are confusing me because I thought when they revealed Fury on the ship. He walks out into the hub where everybody's at. Mm-hmm. I swore everybody there was a Skrull.
That's what I thought.
But people
I thought he was
on
on
the
a Skrull
interwebs, that's what I thought. But people on the interwebs are saying that he's out there in space setting up this thing. But I'm like, but they're all Skrulls. He wouldn't set Sword up with just Skrulls. He'd want human agents.
Exactly.
So.
And if you were gonna do a space thing, it's also horseshit that it's like, okay, then why isn't fucking Thor there? And why isn't he making a fucking phone call to, like, you're about to head up Sword, your fucking powerful space thing. I don't know, maybe Captain Marvel might be somebody you might want on the fucking ship. Like, fuck this movie. Okay, no, fuck that moment. Sorry. I really hated that fucking reveal. It was really dumb. Is there another credit scene, like, after the actual credits, like, all the way through? Because I was so annoyed. And Hannah fucking hated this movie.
That is. The Nick Fury one was the last one. That was after all the credits.
We stayed through the entire credit. Oh my God, we did.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember sitting through the entire credits. I was fucking furious when this movie was over.
Which, by the way, speaking of end credits, if you watch Stranger Things season 3, the last episode actually has credits, and then there's like an end credit scene afterwards. And like I know this because like I clicked the remote and we were gonna exit, and I was like, "There's no 5 minutes of fucking credits on this show. What the hell?"
That's funny.
So we waited to watch it. So yeah. Anyway, go on. Continue.
I also was saying, Spider-Man didn't feel like Spider-Man in this one.
No, but he did.
So
he did do what you wanted him to do. He was worried about protecting his friends, and that's what he was.
Which was good, which I liked.
So I felt in that aspect it was pretty cool.
I missed the quips. I missed the jokes.
There's only
and
like
the fun
little things that like nitpicks, I guess, that I could do, but I don't want to because I like the movie so much. It was so made me feel like a kid again, I guess.
No, it's just like I was sad. I was sad he wasn't being a jokester while he was shooting stuff around. I was hoping for more of that because they handled that really well in the first one. I thought with Homecoming.
Yeah.
Zendaya's fucking great. I love her. I think she's so awesome.
I hate though the fact that she's gonna get a lot of shit from like your general, basically with them calling her MJ, they pissed off a lot of people.
Because it's bullshit. There's no reason to do that.
It's make up
another character.
It's not even Mary Jane too, and
exactly.
And the only reason they call her MJ is just to be like, hey, look what we did.
Hey, we're poking at it. There you go. And they would be like, okay, then would it be a problem if you called her Gwen? Why didn't you call her Gwen then? Or, call her something else. Because the whole time when they first casted her, which I'm still annoyed that this didn't happen, because I watched Ultimate Spider-Man, the Disney one. I fucking like that one. It got a little dumb later, but I really, really liked the first couple of seasons. They had, what was it, White Tiger or whatever? I totally thought Zendaya was going to be White Tiger. Like, I thought that was going to be, like, the lead-up in, like, the third movie.
What's her actual name is, I don't even know.
I couldn't even tell you. I totally forgot. But I thought that's what they were leading up to, and then they do the MJ thing, and I'm like, oh, God, why? It's like, why bother? Yeah. And it's just like, you know what you're doing, and I don't like it. It's just like, which is a shame because she's fucking awesome. She's easily one of the best parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Easily. All her jokes land. And to be completely honest, I think all of her jokes usually land. Because it might be just because I personally like her. But I think, I don't know. I just think she does a really, really good job. And she does catch a lot of shit because of the terrible decision to call her MJ. I just thought it was stupid. There's just no reason to do it.
It's one of those things that it's... No matter what you do with that character now, she's always going to have that slack on her.
Exactly. But it's a shame. It's a total shame.
And it's basically just because the writers wanted to be like, hey, look what we did. And it's stupid. Like you said, they could have created an original character. They could have there's so many girls in the Spider-Man universe. He doesn't always have to hook up with MJ.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, he hooked up with Gwen Stacy before. He hooked up with, what's that? Didn't he hook up with the girl that was the cat?
Oh, Black Cat?
Black Cat.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I'm not that cool. No, it's just, it's just, it's like I said, it's just one of those things. It's a shame because I mean everybody likes MJ. She's a iconic character. She's a personality, dude. People spend a lot of time trying to write her correctly, and it's just kind of shitty that you just get to steal the name and you get to steal the presence and have this built-in like ooh moment that you didn't really earn.
Yeah.
And then the shame is that the actress comes in even with all the hate and all the bullshit and she nails it. But she still catches flack because it was just a stupid fucking marketing decision. It was just really dumb. It was mishandled. It's a shame. Because, again, she's easily one of my favorite parts. And, like, the Ned and girlfriend stuff was a little on the nose, but it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wish
guess
Ned
the guy who plays Flash gets some shit, too, apparently.
Well, because he's not fucking Flash, dude. Come on. Like, he doesn't even play, like, fucking Christ. I mean, he's fine. He's funny, but,
I see what they're doing as, like, they're reimagining for the newer times. Like, I feel like Flash would have been, you know, because the whole jock thing is kind of out of the bag now. Like, it's about social media bullshit and all that stuff and, you know, all that stupid shit. I don't know why Flash would have been part of the one Glee Club thingy that they had, the first one.
Oh, the debate club.
Yeah, the debate club. Yeah. But he was like on the back ropes. And then they did something stupid with him at the end of this movie,
with
too.
With the mom thing?
Like, that's just out of the blue, like, oh, so mom couldn't come?
Yep.
Like,
it's because they want everybody to empathize with him and then be like, well, his character's not bad. Like, look, he's sympathetic. And it's just like, dude, that would have worked if he was being an actual dick to Peter the whole time.
Right.
Like, he makes like 2 fucking jokes. He calls him a dick bag. I'm like, Michael, you've probably called me a dick bag on multiple occasions, or like a dickwad or whatever.
It's not even just like that. It's like, if you're going to reference it, at least make it something that's like a constant. Not like 2 seconds on at the airport, you know.
I just thought it was lame.
It made no sense.
Or like allude to it somehow. Yeah. You know, like lack of likes, or like, you know, he checks his phone, like no missed calls from his parents or something, so that's why he goes on Instagram to feel validated or something.
Right.
I don't know. It just...
Which they kind of like validate them as like, if it wasn't for you, we doing this stupid shit, we wouldn't have been able to find you.
Just kind of cool, dumb.
But
just a little dumb.
I mean,
you have Edith. You have a fucking satellite that can track everybody. You're like, come on. You're telling me what, did Happy just like happen to not have any fucking resources that Tony left behind? You mean like maybe a whole entire multi-billion-dollar company?
No.
Maybe? Or all of this equipment that he essentially
apparently
has been a part of?
Pepper would be in charge of that now, right?
Which is another glaring issue, but we'll just
Which
let that
I'm
one
guessing,
go.
but from what I heard,
we have Happy, so it's fine.
From what I heard, Pepper's out. Don Cheadle's out. They're not doing no more with War Machine.
Yeah, I figured.
And of course Tony's out. Cap's out. Happy's they're gonna have to figure a way to keep
Vision's
Happy in all the
for
time.
A show, isn't it?
Vision's gonna be in the show.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it, because you know they already have Happy initiated in here. What are they gonna do to get him into more movies?
The happy Aunt May thing, I'm 50-50 on. I'm like, the dynamic's kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, was
cool.
it just for this movie? Are they gonna keep going?
Right.
It just works because Jon Favreau's fucking likable as shit.
Yeah.
Like he just does that character really, really well. He just really does.
Yeah. I'm glad that they had their moment finally of like both of them breaking down, because you didn't get to see that in Endgame. Like, you saw Spidey or Peter Parker like right up in Tony's face when he was dying, but you don't get like that moment of him like breaking down at the funeral. Or the moment of Happy breaking down at the funeral.
You don't get
Happy breaks down a little bit.
You don't get a lonely
tears,
moment.
Right.
You don't get like a lonely moment.
Right.
Yeah. Like intimate.
And then showing how like impactful it still is 9 months later.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I think they handled a decent amount of that pretty well.
Which is one of the reasons a lot of people are going to see this movie, is because they want to know what's the world like after the snap.
Now that was easily one of the main reasons I
snap
went.
back. Why not
back to
why
reality?
Not just call it the
there goes
snapback?
Rabbit. There goes Rabbit. You mean fucking Rocket? Ooh, there goes Rocket.
And what about Hulk? Where's Professor Hulk?
My spaghetti. Oh yeah, shit. Where is Professor Hulk? What the fuck?
He's in space
Glaring.
too.
Yeah, sure. He's back on Ragnarok. Or where? Not Ragnarok. What's the fucking stupid trash planet?
With the Grandmaster.
With fucking Jeff Goldblum playing keyboard.
Dude,
the Night Monkey suit was really fucking stupid, by the way. Can I tell you about that?
all it was a shield operative suit thing.
Wasn't even that. It was a fucking ski mask with some fucking goggles on. And it's like, you gave him the iconic fucking Spider-Man eyes. Yeah, I would have never guessed it was Spider-Man, you dipshit. And then, like, it was really fucking convenient that little piece of metal falls off and does the hologram thing. Little overly convenient for me.
Well, that's where he shot his thing to try and stop the Ferris wheel, and then he pulled, and then he ripped it out.
And then Zendaya picks it up.
Yeah.
Again, I'll just say, it kind of reminded me how, like, Ned ended up with the space tech or the alien tech because Peter gave it to him and shit, and it was just, that was handled way better. And this was just kind of like, oh, she just happened to be there and picked it up, and
right.
Thank God it turned on, and that one piece happened to show the entire monster. I was like,
it showed a portion of it. Didn't show the whole thing.
It was the whole monster. It was a whole smoke monster. And I'm pretty sure you even see Mysterio flying around.
Yeah, you do.
It even it shows him the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then, like, when the piece is missing in the later shot, it's just his arm being malfunctioned.
Yeah.
But yet that piece was still responsible for an entire smoke monster and Mysterio flying around. Seemed pretty fucking convenient. Which I'm also really nitpicking because, again, that's the same scene where they reveal his identity to Zendaya, and it was so fucking lazy. It sucked. I hated it. They could have had that be way more impactful. Way more. Like, there doesn't even feel like there's any... it doesn't even feel like he really deals with anything except his own fuck-ups. It's not even like anything like bad really happens to him. He fucks everything up. Yeah. It's just like, oh.
Well, and I think to answer my own question too, like about the whole Avenger level threat bullshit, I think that they do reference it, that they do it to get it onto Nick Fury's shield section radar, but not like worldwide radar. I think they do reference that. But
I would have agreed with you if he hadn't said it destroyed my entire planet.
No. I'm talking
the fire elemental when they're having their breakdown when they meet Peter for the first time. He talks about how it destroyed his entire planet.
Then you'd be calling everybody. But
exactly.
Then they clean it all up and the end with the stupid end credit scene saying, "What do we tell him? He's been asking where the rest of the Avengers are." So that would, to me, make me think all of them are in space, like trying to form this thing to help protect. But I guess we'll see when the shows start popping out.
Bucky, Black Panther's up there too. You really I don't know.
I mean, maybe Black Panther's supplying the tech,
which makes it worse because it's an end credit scene.
Yeah.
Had they maybe delved it into the movie, you'd have been like, fine. But because it's tacked on to the end, it feels like it's tacked on to the end.
Yeah.
Because they're like, fuck, we screwed this up. Let's do this. And we'll distract everybody with the J. Jonah Jameson shit. Just because the web slinging with her was funny. I really like that.
Just wait till the end, or till the Agents of S.W.O.R.D. show starts up. And then you'll get all your questions answered where everyone fucking was.
Right? I mean, overall, the movie's not bad. I would absolutely say go see it. It's a decent Spider-Man movie. I still like Homecoming way better. It feels more personal and the characters feel more fleshed out. This just feels like big spectacle stuff. But Jake Gyllenhaal did a fucking great job.
I'm wondering where they're going to take the Skrulls with this, because they're making them all look really good. No matter what Feige says, like, oh, there's good ones and there's bad ones. Show me a bad one.
They all look like heroes. It's insane. And it's so dumb because it's just like shape-shifting is such a cool element to use.
Yeah.
Especially after you could just prove, like, like when Peter was freaking out, like he couldn't tell if he was real or not.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had more scenes of that because we can't tell if you're the real person or a Skrull. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
And they did reference, they referenced it too, saying something about how I didn't know, Or I thought the Skrull Initiative was supposed to be under wraps. Like, people aren't supposed to know about it. Like, Nick Fury says that during the movie when they're walking into something.
Yeah.
So I caught that. I was like, oh, they finally referenced the Skrulls in the MCU besides in that one movie. Okay, cool. Also, by the way, how come none of the Skrulls helped fight in Endgame?
Thank you.
I think I brought this up before.
Because they're up in space. But see, again, that was another big problem that I had with the end of the movie was that Captain Marvel comes in and blows that shit up. Yeah, where were all the space armadas? That would have been cool. I don't know what that is. It's creepy. I was hoping a bunch of spaceships and armadas were gonna come in because Captain Marvel was going from planet to planet helping. I thought she was gonna do the cavalry and yeah. So that would have been cool. But no, she just blasted. She just blasted through it. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about Endgame.
She's a fucking god. I get it. But I'd say absolutely go see it. I thought it was perfectly fine. I just a lot of the retconning stuff, I'm getting real sick of it.
Yeah.
Please just move forward. Stop fucking with the good stuff.
I think after Black Widow, we probably won't get any more reference shit like back. Let's go back to this movie. I think they're really trying to move away from it. That's probably why they dove into this one with all the extra back stuff. Because now, I mean, how many more people could Tony have pissed off?
God, no fucking kidding.
Like, he's dead. Why are you going to hold a grudge to a dead guy?
I hate it. I hate it.
And, yeah, I don't know.
I second, but that was really the moment it broke me. That was when I go, okay, that's fine.
And what happens if that guy, he became the next Iron Man, right? If Mysterio became the next Iron Man, his plan all happened how it wanted it to. And then a real Avengers level threat happened. What if Thanos' brother,
right?
Or
his mom and dad.
Yeah, like what the fuck is he gonna do? Throw a bunch of things drones at him? No, they're not gonna do shit. No. So moving forward into the MCU, they're gonna. So I heard that they're creating a big bad storyline for the Earthbound, and then they're creating a big bad guy for the space shit. The intergalactic stuff, and they're gonna be going simultaneously at the same time. So instead of one storyline of Thanos behind everything in the background, like the first 22 film or 22 films ish, they're gonna have one for the Earth and one for the space movies going forward. What do you think for Earthbound do you want to see as the big bad that it all leads into?
Should have been Skrulls. But
which there's still an opportunity for them to do a bad section, good section.
They mishandled the reveal. It's not gonna have any weight now.
Dude, Talos is fucking fun. I love that actor. I love.
Fine. I think funny is not the fix to every bad plot.
I know. I just want to see him in more shit.
Oh yeah, no, Ben Mendelsohn's fucking great. Why do you think everybody uses him right now? I don't know, for Earth, I mean,
and remember they have all of Fox's villains too now.
Because it has to be Doctor Doom, dude.
Yes, thank you.
I'm dying for Doctor Doom.
Okay,
I'm dying for Doctor Doom.
So now that you said Doctor Doom,
dude.
I am my thing that I would love for them to do, and I don't really know a big bad for the space stuff because I don't really know what could be worse than Ego or Thanos. For space,
Silver Surfer and
Galactus. Yeah, Galactus is probably what they're gonna go with. So I'll say Galactus for that. But as far as an entire whole, it would be really cool if they focused on the Ego Stone or Ego Gem, which is the 7th Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And it would be cool because I saw somewhere somebody saying, well, why would they want to get Nemesis, which is the person? So you get the Ego Stone and all the other Infinity Stones put together and you create Nemesis because That's her. That's just her split into 7 different sections, basically. And she created the Infinity Stones. Well, the Ego Stone is only in one specific universe. Yeah. It's not in the mainstream universe that they always had. Mm-hmm. And Doctor Doom would be somebody that would want to like kind of try and bring together all the Infinity Stones again to have more power. So I thought it would be kind of cool as if, because they can deal with the quantum realm again, find shit that way, and Doctor Doom would be like the one guy to do it. And then if they morphed it into 2, like the Earthbound and then the Galactus bound type shit, and then you have Nemesis as the big bad at the very end of that.
Because the stones don't exist in this anymore.
They are. They're just shrunk down into atoms. He says atoms.
Sure.
He does.
That's fine. But I'm saying, let's get away from the stones. He's a scientist.
Right.
I think it'd be cooler if he finds out, he can tell that the quantum realm is a thing and like that the Avengers fucked around and did something with it. So maybe more he's trying to harness that power. Maybe that's how he gets Latveria or whatever. Like that's how he figures out how to take it over. Like he goes in to different specific parts and steals little bits of technology. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's how he makes his suit, because he does have a little mysticism. Yeah. So then he could actually fuck around with Doctor Strange, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for a Fantastic Four movie though.
Like, I don't think so.
I don't
that
want
last
it.
One's still, that last one's still in there.
They could even do a Doctor Doom movie without doing, or a Fantastic Four shit without doing the explanation to how they got their shit. Yeah. Because of the world we're in, like maybe they got it. We don't know what happened those 5 years to the people that were still there. Maybe that was the Fantastic Four.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it would be cool to see like Doctor Doom like building like, getting his island situated, going to war with fucking Wakanda, going to war with like all these other places. It'd be awesome.
You know what I want? If Chris Hemsworth was willing to do like one more duology, like 2 movies after the Guardians movie, I want fucking Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
I want Beta Ray Bill.
Well, he wants to do a 4th Thor movie.
Dude, I want him to bring in Beta Ray. I want him to so bad.
They freaking hinted at him in Ragnarok, and then we don't even get to see him.
I want it, dude. I want it. That's where my nerd heart would like the world to go, just for like 2 movies, like because I want them to have to fight each other, and then I want them to buddy cop it.
Yeah,
like they did with him and Hulk. I thought it'd be brilliant.
And I still say, we need to have the Supremists in Black Panther 2.
And I'm telling you, like, you could work it that way.
I actually just got a 5-set series of comics.
Ooh.
And it's the first issues where they brought in the Supremists. So I can show people this, and like I'm gonna be that nerd. I swear
I'm not crazy. It's cool.
I'm gonna be the nerd online that creates a petition for Disney to do that story arc.
Which, like, can you imagine the fucking headline you would make for it, and people would be like, "Wow, okay, so Nazis are real again." It's like I support the remaking of supremacy and fascism, and it's like, wait, no, I meant the characters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's kind of why in my video I when I misworded myself and said superheroes, I was like, not superheroes, supervillains.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to hear that shit. But those would be kind of cool though, because they actually have superpowers. They're kind of like mutants in their own respect, I guess. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. I know they're never gonna fucking do that. Disney doesn't have the balls to do that.
I guess you could do Mr. Sinister or Apocalypse again. Mr. Sinister would probably be cooler.
Yeah.
Because that would be a good way to introduce the mutants. Like maybe you're finding a bunch of missing persons popping up, and the Avengers or whoever is around wants to figure that out.
So, because I know they're doing the Black Panther sequel, I'm kind of interested to see if they'll like turn M'Baku into a villain this time.
I hope not. I mean, they
Because he's
already
a
tried to
likable
play it.
character.
Well, and they already pseudo played him as the villain in the first one.
I mean, he is kind of.
I mean, he's not necessarily a villain.
Yeah, I guess he's just like a bad guy, bad dish
just-
guy. He's an ass, I guess.
Well, he's just another guy who wants the throne. That's all. He's a dude trying to do better for his people, which I would argue that's the proof when he joins the fight at the end.
Yeah,
So
the man.
I don't know. I would hate this. I would hate to see that happen. He's awesome.
I just don't know.
I'd like to see him give him like a dope, not like a Black Panther suit, but like something like some cool kind of like battle armor. To make
Have
a
him
little
look
tougher.
like the fucking gorilla that he's supposed to look like.
That symbolism, I don't know if fly right now. It'd be cool though.
It's
People are
lore.
weird,
It's
Michael.
part of the lore.
Michael, people are weird.
Don't
And
care.
again,
that
I
would look
can't-
awesome though.
I can't stress this enough, and I think it goes all the way back to the beginning. Just because it's in the comics doesn't mean it can't be dumb. It doesn't mean it can't be dumb. So always got to throw that out there, because you know, you have that I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard line to walk. You know.
Yeah.
But it's just like at the end of the day, you can feel if they did it right or if they did it wrong. There's a certain point when you're watching the movie where you make the decision. It's like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I like it. Versus, ooh, I don't know. Because like I said, Civil War is my favorite movie.
Mhm.
So them even touching that, as soon as I saw that scene, I'm like, fuck, stay away from my movie, please. Stop recontextualizing what's happening. But for other people, it's like, I didn't really care about that movie. I don't give a shit. They probably don't even remember what that scene's from. You know what I mean?
They
So it
probably
means
think it was
nothing
just
to
a
them.
made-up scene right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, cool. They got him back for a thing. But for me, it's like, that is like the hallmark movie for me in this. I would honestly say it's a big toss-up between the first Avengers and that one. Those
Yeah.
two are like the ones I'll pull out. Age of Ultron is not a very good movie, but it's probably one of my top 4.
I like
viewings.
watching it.
I love it a lot.
I don't
love the
necessarily
party
think it's
scene.
like the greatest movie or the best of the MCU, but I like watching it just because of like what it gives you. And that one hits like a lot of comic book orgasms right there.
Yeah.
With
It's
all
just
the
they
shit
just
they show.
mishandled Ultron. That's my biggest problem
Yeah.
is that Ultron just sucks so many dicks. It was just like, ugh. That was
Ultron's
brutal.
not dead. Ultron is Edith.
Fuck. Reveal. But
Now
yeah,
that-
I guess
now
that's
that-
really all.
No,
That's
now
really all I
that
got
that,
for
that Tony's
fucking
dead, Ultron will resurface because now his daddy's not there to stop him.
Shit.
And then, you know, and Vision's not there to stop him either. Vision and Tony are gone. Now Ultron can resurface from the whatever he's stuck in right now.
I don't think he's stuck in anything. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
No.
Vision pretty much just wiped him out.
No. He had to have a backup somewhere of himself. It's fucking Ultron. At least the Ultron we know would have a backup of himself somewhere and would just stay like dormant.
I guess.
But yeah, that's cool. So
Yeah, pretty lackluster ending to the discussion to Far From Home, but literally I'm just kind of like, good, decent Spider-Man movie. I think the first one's going to hold up better. And as for like adding stuff to the MCU, I think it's terrible. But if I were to watch Homecoming and that back to back, pretty much I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll be confused by the Endgame stuff, but for the most part, those two movies are pretty solid.
yeah.
But I really like the first. I just really like the first one. I thought the first one was just really well done.
This the thing with the Spider-Man movie is there's no way it could have been done without the shit from Endgame and Infinity War.
Oh no,
Because
No,
the whole
especially
story revolves around those two.
him
Or
and Tony.
at
I mean,
least at
well, and Happy
least.
was such a big part of the first one too, so it's just kind of like, ooh, it's hard to imagine a movie without them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was well done. It was fine. It was just a lot of character stuff that they did that there's too many fucking dumb reveals. I think that was my biggest thing is like all the reveals were just handled really poorly. Like every time they would do it really good, they'd go, and here's the joke that kind of fucked everything up. It's like, fuck. Like the Mysterio, like again, like the Mysterio reveal, and then he does the cringy speech. I'm like, damn it. Then you got the reveal of Talos at the end. It's so literally they can cut to a joke with him on the ship doing the Tahiti shout out to fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was just like, ugh. I was just like, ugh. It was just like, Fury and Hill were looking pretty badass in that movie there for a minute, and then you just kind of cut to Sam Jackson on the ship, and he just looks like a flabby dude on the beach. And
they were also looking like assholes too. Like they look like assholes for part of it, and then there's like one section where they look pretty dope, and then the rest of it they look like assholes. Yeah. And then knowing that they were shapeshifters themselves and couldn't tell an illusion apart. I love that he referenced it though too. Like he brought it up himself. He's like, I can't even. It's just so embarrassing.
Yeah. It's just, again, it was just a reveal. They made a couple of jokes so you could kind of get away from it. If you laugh, it's kind of like you're not going to think about it.
Yeah.
So,
dude, the girl that was sitting next to me laughed at every fucking thing. I was so annoyed. I was like,
oh,
it's
dude,
not
we
that
had
funny.
a guy. We had like a 40-year-old white dude right in front of us just, I was like, oh, God, dude. Well, Marvel found their fucking audience. To a T. I'm like, bro, calm fucking down. It is not that funny.
Yeah.
Like, and they were like the jokes that like you were like, huh? Like nobody else in the theater laughed, but he's just like, ah. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
That's what this girl was doing. She was just laughing at everything. And then like the reveal was about to happen to Mysterio. And like they're in the bar and he pulls out the glasses and I'm like, oh, I know what the story is now. Yeah. He wants the glasses.
I was sitting in the theater with Hannah, and I just go, oh, fuck, damn it. Yeah. Peter, don't. I already know what you're about to do. Don't do it. Like, oh, damn it.
I didn't realize it was halfway through the movie, too. Like, there was an hour until they do that.
Well, the movie's like 2 hours long.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean,
so I was like,
it's a long one.
Oh, this is where it's going to happen. I was like, wait, no. And like I was literally saying no in the theater. Yeah,
I was doing.
Like, no, don't do it. And then I kept like going like that, like. Ugh.
No, like I said, as soon as they cut to the bar and they're still in their costumes, I go, okay, this movie's turned into a fucking joke. And then it's like, okay, I know exactly what's about to happen then.
Yeah.
So either because it was literally like they're either going to do it right in this scene or they're not gonna do it at all. So. When he pulls the glasses out, I go, fuck. Yep, that was the end. That was his goal.
And love how they just were like on the ground, like his Mysterio's guys like dropped him on the ground. Because why would Spider-Man have those glasses on him in that suit?
Yep, that also pissed me off.
So like, come on, you're supposed to be a smart kid. Why? I didn't bring these glasses. How'd these get here?
They really did make Peter. They made Peter seem like a complete dumbass this entire movie. Like, it was just like he was making really fucking stupid mistakes.
I think it was because he was they were trying to play it as he was being emotional because of the loss of Tony and the war that just happened. And then he's just trying to live his life as a normal kid for that. So he wasn't really conscious of everything going on. That's how I'm taking it because...
I could see that. I really liked what he was trying to do with the whole MJ thing, though. The Black Dahlia necklace thing. I love that. I thought that was cute. And like the reason why he picked it was really cute and it made sense. Yeah. And then when she liked it more because it was broken, I'm like, oh man, that totally is them. Like they really do their writing really, really well.
Right.
And like I said, she's such a great addition to this story.
Dude, everything they did for like the high school relationship part of the movie was fucking awesome.
It was pretty well done.
It was like, that is a high school like you could take everything out and just put like the high school shit. I mean, granted, it'd only be like a half-hour movie, but it's like that's high school there. That's a high school movie. The teachers are the worst part because the teachers are like a little too dumb. Yeah.
Like they overplay how dumb they are, and it's a little rough. So, you know what I might have because they did that with Ned and what's her face.
What?
I was going to say if the other chaperone was female and then like nerdy teacher could have had a chance, especially since his wife kind of fucked him.
No, they put Smooth in there that make it a little bit more comic relief, which he wasn't even...
I didn't find him funny. I thought he was annoying.
They didn't even have him do any like real comedy, and he's like the actual comedy guy.
Yeah, he was kind of annoying.
I love it.
Could've
He's like
handled
he's
better.
like a teacher of mystic arts or something, like a dark
What-
something.
No, what does he do? He was. Fuck, I can't even remember.
I remember when they're all about to go home, like after everything's done, Peter gives the glasses to Mysterio. And then he realizes everybody's leaving because the parents all want them home or some shit because of like all this stuff. And then he's like, "But wait, they're all." And he's like, "Oh, what does JB Smooth say?" He says something, and then he's like, "As a scientific man, it's witches."
Yeah. God,
just
that was
like,
funny. That was
damn.
funny. That was funny. I like that.
That was pretty funny.
Which?
Because like they kept playing him as like this like black arts teacher or history buff for black arts or
That might have been
something.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
remember what exactly it said, but it was funny. It had its moments. As far as a Spider-Man movie goes, it was pretty fun. I did watch Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse again last night.
Oh, that movie.
That made me just want Spider-Man Far From Home to be part of the Spider-Verse.
I did too.
Like, as much as I would have been like, fuck, already we're jumping into multiverse stuff. But then I was like, I don't care. I want the multiverse shit.
I
Just
was
give it
kind
to
of the
me.
exact. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of exactly the same way. That's
Yeah.
why I said like I think I even brought it up to you. It's like, fuck. Well, he brings it up, and then because you reveal that like 90% of pretty much everything he said is a lie.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck. Okay, so then that must not actually be canon then, and that made me sad.
Right.
So, I was like, oh, bummer. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say overall, I would say I would say easily 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
I mean, if we're gonna put a number on it, I'd say
Yeah.
6 or 7. For me as an MCU movie, I'd probably make it a 4, but I would say like a set.
Where would you
6 or
rank
7.
it? Like, after what would be before this?
I mean, it's up there. I mean, 22 movies, it's easily top 15.
This would be movie 23.
So easily top 15.
Okay.
Easily top 15. Top 10, you'd be fighting pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much in the MCU now to like compare it to. And a lot of the movies too, when I watch them, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy was fucking dope when it first came out.
First one's still my favorite. I think it's
But
still one of the top 5.
The
maybe.
second one does not hold up for me. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people like that one more. I really don't. The second one just did not hit with me as much as a lot of people did. The first
Yeah.
one I just thought was so good. It was
yeah,
so
this
well done.
the second one we watched it the other day, and I was just like, it goes by so fast, I guess,
Mhm.
and because the reveal is really like.
Everything feels
There's
lackluster.
not, yeah.
It's
There's
just
not
weird.
like a big reveal either at the end. Like you knew, like you could tell something was gonna happen throughout the entire fucking movie. It would have been cooler if they would have had the one what are they called, the gold people. If they would have been a bigger part of the movie.
See, I actually think if they hadn't introduced them and made a better villain for the twist, because like they just seemed
Yeah.
really lame. Like they were just boring.
Yes
They were
and
just
no.
gold people, and then they were just fighting drones. They like weren't even in the ships. They were just droning the ships. It was lame.
It's because they're
Kinda
smart people. Because
Because they did that, and then it was like I saw Ready Player One like 2 months later, and it was just kind of like, oh, I see what happened here. I really like the first Guardians. It's solid.
Yeah.
Again, this one's fine. I just think the first one was so good. The first Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming was just so good. The villain was better, and it was just, I don't know.
The villain was better because it was a better actor. I mean,
Fair enough. But see, it's hard to argue because, like I said, this is one of the first times I thought when Jake Gyllenhaal was playing the hero, he fucking nailed it.
yeah.
I totally was getting to a point where I'm like, I would be kind of fine with him being the new mentor now.
I don't like that when they like gave him the glasses to put on the first time. Like they tried to make it this like he's like Tony Stark moment. I was like, no, that's not my fucking Tony Stark. Hashtag not my Stark.
That's funny. Yeah.
So if they would have gone that route though and made him a good guy like that in the universe and made him like the next Iron Man, I would have been pissed. So many other people would have been pissed too. So like the whole movie, they're talking about who's the next Iron Man, who's the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, well, wouldn't the next Iron Man be the guy that closest to Iron Man's tech, which would be Black Panther? I mean, he can fight. He's kind of a superhuman, and his sister builds everything for him. That's kind of like Iron Man to me. And he's a king already, so. And if Disney's going to go the route they're trying to do with all their other stuff, why not make Black Panther the face of the MCU instead of Captain Marvel? You're going to get more of a following with that as your face than with her.
I would argue Spider-Man should.
He should. He's the smart guy. He's just he's not normal human. That's the cool thing about Tony Stark was he had no powers except for his brain. That was it. And money, I guess, if you consider that a superpower, but
yeah.
But
some people do. I think that's weird, but okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. As far as like the next like face of the company, Feige's really like pushing Captain Marvel, so
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of faith moving forward at this point. I don't really care about it as a universe anymore.
Yeah.
They kind of their last like 3 movies retcon so much stuff that I'm just like I don't really care about the continuity anymore because they've just fucked it all up. So now I'm just going back into the movies as their own individual things.
Yeah. Which honestly, that's what going into this next phase, I feel that's what Disney should do. It's
the only way I think it can survive.
That way, they can still build a universe inside of it and have it come together again, but give us some time, you know,
some breathing room,
or some development of the characters. Like we don't need Doctor Strange to show up in whatever, or we don't need like with Spider-Man. It was good because they didn't put any other superheroes in it.
Yeah.
So it was okay, but we don't need like the next Doctor Strange movie to open, and then there's Black Panther and Thor along his side for no reason,
or again, it's like use Endgame as the checkpoint, like in a video game. It's
right.
Like, okay, no more changing fucking history before Endgame. Can we please just move forward and have the universe build now?
Yeah.
Like, stop fucking retconning movies. Like, that's the worst part about it. It's like, the only good reveal was the fact that little scientist dude was from the first Iron Man movie.
Right.
And it would have totally made sense, and it would have worked with his motivation and why he would have helped. I was like, I really liked that. And then they did all the other stuff, and I go, oh.
Right.
Oh, boo. Boo.
Dude,
Boo-hoo.
I read the thing that pissed me off earlier because these people didn't know what they were talking about. When it comes to, like, retconning thing. They were trying to say that Scarlett Witch beat Thanos in Infinity War.
Okay.
And when she like blows the stone up in Vision's head, and then this is them. This is not me. This is them saying, then what's his face? Thanos turns time back to get the gem back out of his head. They're trying to say that creates an alternate universe due to the time travel rules of Endgame. So therefore, the first time when he destroys the gem, that's Scarlet Witch defeating Thanos because then she just takes him out with her powers.
100% wrong.
To me, I would say, one, y'all didn't watch Doctor Strange. Otherwise, he would have been creating an alternate universe every time.
Exactly.
He changed a fucking apple into a piece of shit.
Yep.
So it's... that just pissed me off. I saw that earlier today, and it was like a big clickbait article about it, and I actually read it, and I was like, no, this makes no sense. You guys aren't saying anything right.
The time stone operates different from the quantum realm.
Right.
It's completely different.
And because they don't use the time stone when they're traveling back in time.
Exactly. It's completely different.
The time stone can alter your entire timeline.
Yes.
It doesn't create an alternate reality.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
So-
there'd be like billions of alternate realities just
Don't-
from the Doctor Strange movie going back in time to do.
Don't get
beat
me
the guy.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. One of the most painful things I'll ever have to do is justify the fucking time travel and the mechanics in Endgame. But at the end of the day, they clearly show you that their time travel is quantum realm. Thanos
Yeah.
using the time stone is completely independent of that, and
Yep.
that's completely nonsense. Whoever said that, congratulations, you're a dumbass. Like, you, sir, are off base.
Yeah. So that was my little bit of information for today that pissed me off. I was like, you guys are stupid. Don't even, don't just
Watch the movie.
just
watch
watch
the
any
movies.
movie with the time stone in it. Come on.
It's absurd. Dummies, Michael.
Otherwise, that means every time that Doctor Strange went to the 14 million or billion futures, he was changing and creating alternate timelines anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like then the only way to like live in one timeline is to never change anything ever.
Ooh, I just thought of the space thing.
What's
The
that?
Watchers.
The Watchers,
be
yeah.
cool. That could be cool. They showed up with Stan Lee on
But they're not
on the moon
really
after the second
bad
Guardians.
guys.
They're not bad people, but having these big things that create the world, and you have to learn how to abide by their rules to like survive forward. Maybe you could have a rogue one, couldn't you? I don't know the lore about them. Like, are they
You could have a
all,
what?
like pure? Could you have an evil one?
Well,
Are there evil ones?
I don't think so because there might be, but I highly doubt because they just watch. They literally
So I
just
guess-
watch.
So I guess that'll be some new homework for us to
Yeah.
maybe check out some lore, because they could be cool. I mean, not
That'd be
necessarily.
a good question to
in a
ask
capacity.
one of our future guests that we will
Yeah,
have on. So,
that'd be cool.
yeah. Because he'll know more
Yay.
about that than me.
But I'm glad we finally got to talk about this, because again, like I said, Hannah's mad.
I know.
I
She-
created a monster, Michael.
She posted something
Created
on
a monster.
Facebook, and I posted a picture and be like, know who you sound like?
Yeah. You could tell though she felt bad because of course, like, because we were in the 3D thing. So literally when he starts his speech, I'm like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then they go back in time and they go to the scene, the barf scene, and I go, oh no, not my movie. Please don't mess with my movie. I said that, and I legitimately just sank in my chair, like slid down and took my 3D glasses off, and I go, no, please. And then they did it, and I was like, it took about 10 minutes, and then I got back in. After the speech ended, I go, that speech was dumb. And then we got into the next scene, and I'm like, all right, here we go. All right. But then when he had to fight him in the warehouse and they did all that stuff,
Yeah.
I was back. That's when I jumped back into the movie. I'm like, okay, at least the eye candy is good.
Yeah.
And like the Mysterio shit was so well handled. I'm
Well,
like, cool.
from that point when they do the reveal till he starts fighting him in the warehouse, there really isn't a whole lot going on. Except for like stupid exposition shit with the high school class and all that crap.
And just like, oh, happy I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
no, that's after the warehouse.
the glasses and stuff.
Yeah,
Are you sure? Okay.
yeah. Well,
I'll have to
after
I mean, I'm gonna rewatch
he
it.
gets
I don't
hit by
think
the
I'll watch it.
train, and then he gets happy to pick him up after that, and that's all after the warehouse.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because he ends up in the fake Nick Fury's car that takes him to the warehouse. Got it. Yep. Okay. Now I
Yeah.
remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, because
probably
that
another one-
confused me at first too, because I'm
Yeah.
like, until like they got all the way through it, I was like, okay, so Nick Fury's taking him to this building. Okay, cool, I get it. But then it turns out the building is all fake. I'm like, wait a minute, Nick Fury wouldn't take him into. Nick Fury would know where he's going.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's supposed to be a shield operative place and stuff. And then like at the end, like Nick Fury shoots him. I'm like, this
Like I
not
said-
real. I was like, that's not how it's ending.
Like I said, pretty much since the bar, they kind of got off the rails. They kind of started kind of forgetting what they
Yeah.
were doing, and then they really. That's when they started to kind of start really working on the eye candy stuff.
Yeah.
And the references and all that, which is fine. Again, like the ending drone fight was a little empty. There wasn't any real emotional fight to it. I
No,
thought
it was
kind of-
that was a whole CG fight too. So
So I thought that was kind of lame. But I mean, the Spidey stuff was cool. I guess I don't get my rocks off to that stuff anymore. because I've seen Spider-Man slinging through cities and doing all kinds of cool shit. I did enjoy the taser stuff coming back, and he used the taser webs to zap everything. I thought that sequence was really neat. But when he's kind of just jumping around through the bridges and stuff, I was like, I've kind of seen all this before. I wish there was some more emotionally heavy shit going on.
Something that actually would do some justice for the story.
Yeah, because I love that scene, like in the first one in Homecoming, like when he gets stuck under the building and he has to lift the building up off himself. And and then like he's getting really fucked up, like when he's fighting Vulture, and like one of the spots that really sticks with me is when he gets shoved into the ground. He's in the sand, and Vulture's claw like locks into him.
Yep.
And I'm like, God, this is really powerful.
There's a lot more at stake too in the first one with him. Like, I mean,
but
granted,
it's smaller. It's so weird.
It's smaller. It's not on a grandiose like bar, and like I don't know.
But somehow, but it feels more weighted and heavy for some reason.
I think it's probably because he's the only one, maybe, and the tones of that too. Like
you get to enjoy them. Like you're not cutting back and forth, because like it was really kind of. It took a lot of the cool shit away, like especially when he does the cool spider sense fight and like runs the gambit. When he runs through the gambit, like trying to use his spidey sense to destroy all the drones and stuff, and then get to Mysterio.
Yeah.
It was like we kept cutting away to the idiots in the vault and stuff, and I was like, "Stop killing the pacing! Like this is starting to get climactic, and you're kind of cutting away from it."
The end of the first one, Homecoming, also had the villain was a little deeper because he had that nice speech that he gave him before, like giving him a chance to just back the fuck up.
Which that's one of the coolest scenes for me, acting wise and stuff in the movie, but it's also one of the most unbelievable scenes in the movie for me.
Well, no, not from Vulture, like because
I'm just sitting there because he's got the gun, and it's like Spider-Man's like fucking fast, dude. He could just go whoosh and disarm him in like 2 seconds.
And he's super strong, because we saw him beat the shit out of both Winter Soldier and Falcon at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like his power level has been increased way too much to kind of like, I don't believe, but at the same time, the way I fanboy write that off is I go, he's just shocked. And on top of that, like, how do you explain that you just kick the shit out of your prom date's dad?
Not only that, too, he might have also felt like if he fucked something up right here, somebody at the school could get hurt because they were at the school.
Exactly.
Or if he also doesn't know, is this guy actually powerful, or is it just the machine?
Or something. The shock value and all that. So that's how I write that off. But again, it's like I said, it's just like, it's an old dude holding a gun in the front of the car. It's like, come on, he fought like 5 bank robbers with automatic like alien weapons in a bank vault.
But you forget something. You forget the one key point.
He doesn't have his web slingers?
He's Batman.
I knew it. I still want a Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton and Robert Pattinson.
No, like the whole first ending, the movie of Homecoming, is the tonal difference is a lot different from this new one too, because it's nighttime, and this one almost the entire movie takes place during the day. Far From Home, there was only like one actual like night scene, and that's when they're fighting like the big thing right before the reveal. Everything else takes place in the daytime.
Pretty much, yeah.
So there's only one time where it's nighttime.
I see that.
So your tonal differences are going to be different, because it's harder to feel something is a little heavier for movie's sake, anyways. When it's so like lit, crispy and shit like that, I guess.
Also, can I say I think Ned should have been kidnapped. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that could have been a way to change gender stuff too. Like instead of the damsel in distress, like the best friend. That could have weighted it out a little bit more. Yeah. I think they thought they were doing that by having that thing with the vault and stuff, but they were cracking jokes all the time, and it was like, because like the happy thing with the shield was really awesome, and then like he's talking about like I have a crush on Aunt May, which again,
no, he says I have a crush on Spider-Man's aunt, which is like, okay, so
he
they
just revealed the thing to the blonde chick.
And Flash.
Oh fuck, Flash was there too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he in the vault?
Yes, because remember, Happy says your stupid Instagram shit is how we found you.
Yeah, because he follows me. Yeah. Yeah, because I couldn't believe it. I almost looked at Hannah when we were in the theater, and he goes, "I'm in love with Spider-Man's aunt," and I go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like you just revealed, like,
Yeah.
wait. Like I get that it's not necessarily reveal, but I'm like,
But if anyone ever sees them together,
exactly,
it's gonna be
it
like
just seems
instant.
so obvious.
But then they got away from all that with the ending by saying
with the Jonah
he's
Jameson shit.
he's Spider-Man.
That was when I was out. I was like literally like, oh, okay, yeah, the MCU's dead. Fuck this. This is dumb.
I just want to know where they're gonna go with it after this first Spider-Man. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. I want to see this story completed. I want to see Guardians completed. And see if they do anything else with Thor. Because honestly, nothing else is left open. Everything had its 3 movies and they're out type thing. But with Chris Hemsworth saying that he's willing to do more Thor movies, so they might as well. Because I mean, they can throw Thor in everything. Doctor Strange, be interesting to see what they do, what villains they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther, unless they get really creative, I'm not sure. Because they've already maxed out his powers. Like, he already has the nanotech suit from the first movie.
Black Panther and Captain Marvel pretty much OP'd the world, and it's just like you can't put the cat back in the bag.
You're right. Like, there's no... I don't see how well they're going to do it. I really hope with this WandaVision show that we do get, like, the storyline I heard of, and it sounded really cool, where it's kind of like a Pet Cemetery type thing with them bringing Vision back to life.
Because that worked really good in Justice League.
Yes. But no, I really want to see how well they would play. Because it's not like how Superman was in Justice League, how it would be. It's like legit, he would be on his own, like killing people and doing shit like that. And she has to figure a way to stop him without killing him again because she's in love with him and blah, blah, blah. With Superman, if those guys could have killed him, they probably would have killed him again.
I would hate that. If Vision actually murdered somebody... regardless
it takes away from
I don't like him anymore.
So what it is it's not actually Vision. It's an evil demon pulled into his body.
This isn't Buffy. Calm down. Don't demon me right now.
Then they're gonna have to call the DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Get Constantine. That's how we're gonna world build. Jesus
there
Christ.
We go.
So how about this? Okay, I'm gonna end the cast with this.
All right.
Because there was a fan theory.
Fan
that
theory.
I think I like and I don't like at the same time.
Okay. Of what?
It's from the MCU as a total. Mostly from Endgame, but built from...
Right.
It's mostly Endgame, but built from some of the movies. Have you ever seen the animated movie, The Next Avengers, where it was about all the kids?
Yeah.
Of the Avengers?
Where Ultron's chasing them down?
Exactly. There are the fan theories that MCU was trying to slowly build that, because you have like the kid from Iron Man 3 who's obviously older now. You have Cassie Lang who got aged up because of the snap.
Right.
You got Shuri who's also a teen.
Got Hawkeye's daughter.
You got Hawkeye's daughter, and then there's like 1 or 2 others that you could probably throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that there maybe could possibly be alluding close to the next Avengers, or like the
a young
generation.
Avengers, a young, like kind of like a Young Justice, but Young Avengers type thing. Yeah.
Exactly, like a Teen Titans. Yeah.
Or they could also, because, are you finished with that theory, or is that like what it was?
It's pretty much what it was, and I was like, do I think that's a cool idea? Yes. Could it be done very, very poorly?
Yeah.
Based on what Disney's been doing recently, absolutely.
That should be something that they try out on their app first before they send it to movie theaters.
I don't know, dude. I feel maybe a TV show would work better,
because that's where they're gonna show Hawkeye's daughter. That's how she becomes Hawkeye.
That would be the one where I say that's Joss Whedon. Get Joss Whedon on that one.
Yeah. I could see that.
Because he can do ensemble. He could probably do the teeny angst stuff. Because he tends to be pretty good with sticking with pop culture. And
just don't make it like a CW show and you should be good.
Exactly. I don't want to go as dark as the Titans on fucking DC app, but I also don't want to go as fucking goofy as. I don't want to go as goofy as like the first fucking season of Agents of Shield.
Right.
Because you could honestly go both ways.
Yeah.
Be bad.
Or it could be as bad as Inhumans.
If this is true. I never actually saw any of it, but I was like, I don't know. I saw the first promo. I was like, this is gonna look sweet.
It's horrible. It's horrible. No,
Yeah.
it did not look sweet whatsoever. I don't even think they actually got them in their like real suits either once in the show.
Oh, didn't even get far enough.
No. Because
Medusa could have been really cool, and the guy
they
Simon,
fucking spoilers for Inhumans, but they fucking cut their hair off in the first episode.
Oh yeah, I'd have been out, done. Yeah, I'd have been done. Yeah, I'd have been done.
It's like what the fuck, like, and so then when she's on Earth, she just like G.I. Janed it the whole fucking time.
It's like I don't know, going to Black Panther and showing that your lead character is absolutely useless without his suit or his powers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Empowerment. Nothing more empowering than watching your lead guy get his ass kicked multiple times, be told without your suit, without your powers, you're just a boy. And guess what? He was. He does nothing without his powers.
Well,
It's
without
hilarious.
his powers, I mean, shit. Like he doesn't do anything. Like,
But also without his suit, though. It's like, at least in Civil War, he actually went toe-to-toe with the Winter Soldier without his suit.
Yeah.
He fought him in the cafeteria and did all this cool shit. And his anthem was cool. Bum, 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 bum. I was like, his music was dope. Anyway.
No, as far as theories go, there was one, because you were just talking about them doing like a basically a young Avengers thing.
Yeah.
So, because of like how they're doing all that, so there's theories of, because we see in the background, I think they do it like one shot of it or two shots maybe of different angles of the Avengers Tower is up for sale now.
Yeah.
So with Tony out of the picture, maybe a new big company has to come in, like Oscorp.
I don't know. I think I'd like AIM.
And I could see AIM, but that was something that would always go up against Tony. Like if you get so here's the thing is they're talking about Oscorp, and then with Oscorp, you could get your Dark Avengers series set up. Bring in Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn could finally be the Captain Iron or Iron America or Captain whatever.
Iron Patriot.
Iron Patriot, yes. Like you get your real Iron Patriot.
Yeah.
When he finds one of Tony's suits, like in the basement or some shit, Avengers Tower or something. Granted, he downgrades the suit. He puts old shit into it because he's not as smart.
I'm afraid if you go back into Spidey's lore too much, you might start asking too many questions again. Because then, like, okay, do Harry and Peter, are they going to introduce Harry? Are they going to become friends? Have they been friends? And we just retcon that again?
Right.
I think if you do a company like AIM, we can get away from Hydra. AIM could pose itself as a good company, and not only could you do like the bad billionaire company stuff, the bad billionaire angle, but they could also try to dismantle Tony's legacy, which that alone would be a good motivation for people to take up arms against them.
Right.
That way you could still keep that nice ambience of Tony Stark from the first phases. Like, it's like we're not gonna let them like take the tower and besmirch his name. Kind of thing.
You could do like AIM teams up with Hydra, which they've done before. So, and like
anyway.
then they have like their whole Hydra army like create their base around the fucking tower and stuff.
I don't know. I just want to get away from. I want to get away from Hydra. I think they handled
Everybody
it really
wants
well.
to get away from Hydra.
Yeah, I think they handled it really well in
honestly without
in Winter Soldier
actually having Captain America anymore. There's no point in having Hydra.
And you're not gonna have Red Skull, and it's just kind of like I think AIM's the natural way to go.
Yeah, I
doesn't
could see
MODOK,
that.
Doesn't MODOK or whatever
Through
isn't
AIM?
he part of AIM? Yeah.
Well, he's not a human, but yeah.
Well, I know that, but he could be the creation.
Dude, I fucking want to see them bring MODOK in. I would
That's what I'm
love
saying, dude.
that.
I think AIM is the natural progression, my dude. Yeah. I would have to say AIM. I think that would be.
You see my MODOK statue back here?
I do, and I see your Spidey mask chilling in the back. And Mr. Sinister.
What Spidey mask? That's
That
Deadpool.
red one, right?
That's
Is that Deadpool?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry. What am I? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I see
I
it.
put the Deadpool mask next to the Wolverine piggy bank.
Yeah, you did.
And
Yeah,
then-
you did.
And then I put Deadpool on the window
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
next to a Spider-Man sign because they all link together.
You're a dork. But
Kevin Feige
yeah.
wants to bring Deadpool into Spider-Man, just so we're clear.
Why the fuck wouldn't you? It'd be dumb not to.
So it would be so awesome to see those characters.
Did you see?
react together.
Did you see on Facebook that weird panel thing with where like Deadpool and Spider-Man end up on Vormir in front of Red Skull?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, the next Deadpool movie that comes out, I would die if they'd be willing to either make it just a small cinematic short that they put on the Blu-ray, or as one of the like 2 or 3 cutscenes after the credits. If they just recreated that panel, I'd fucking die. It was hilarious, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be my fanboy moment.
That would be Ryan Reynolds like doing the advertisements for it. But even if they do another Deadpool movie, I highly doubt Disney's gonna give him the free reign on the advertisements.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how Disney tries to work with the X-Men, because
Yeah.
that is a hell of a dumpster fire they're going to be trying to...
I don't know
solve
how
it.
they're gonna try and bring it in or what, because they're not doing multiverse at this moment.
Yep.
So, and from what they've said, they're recasting everybody except for the Deadpool characters. So,
Which makes sense.
yeah. I mean,
shame.
apparently the Phoenix movie did bad. I still haven't gone and seen it, so I heard it was
I've
a
heard-
piece.
I've heard people who said they actually went to go make fun of it, and they couldn't even do that because they just felt so bad. They just go, it was so bad, I couldn't even make fun of it anymore.
Like, I don't know. They probably pushed it too much, or you know,
They were just ready to be done.
they were just like, fuck it, chug it, football.
Football. The X-whamming. Yeah. So okay. Well, that was a whole thing. That was fun. Yeah. Go see Spidey. Go see it. It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It's great.
Spider-Man.
100% better than
Spider-Man.
much better than Spider-Man 3 from Sam Raimi.
Oh, God,
fucking,
yeah.
Fucking a million times better. At least I do still like the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's really not that great.
I was gonna
but-
watch that last night, but then the boys were like, "No, they wanted to watch Spider-Verse," because I haven't seen the Andrew Garfield ones in a minute.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to watch these because it's like I've seen all the other shit. We recently watched Spider-Man 2, so it's like I want to watch, because I don't remember Amazing Spider-Man 2 except for the ending.
No.
So I don't remember all the storylines and shit like that. So I kind of want to watch that, even if it's bad. But I want to watch the first one because I haven't seen either of them forever. So it's like, come on. But no. So they wanted to watch Spider-Verse. We watched Spider-Verse. Miles Morales is dope. Even though he has his mom's last name. I guess his parents aren't married or something. Yeah.
Hey,
because his dad's
Spanish-
last name is Davis.
Boy, Spanish
So-
women are scary and powerful, dude. Maybe he
Just
took her
saying.
name.
Maybe.
Done. You ever tried to date a Mexican lady? I think you have.
It's
you have
just
my-
they were going with the whole here's Peter Parker, so we need Miles Morales.
Well, you mean aside from the name that's his name in the comic book?
No, I mean that and for the comic book when they made him.
You silly goose.
That's why they did it. Oh, one last comic book news thing. So Stan Lee was doing some adult comic stuff. Like comics for adults. I don't think it's nude shit, but
Sexy.
like more adult content stuff. And they're finally getting released.
Ooh.
So that should be interesting to see what those look like when they come out. And
Well,
then,
alright then.
hopefully by the time we talk next, I will have my Supremacist Black Panther series, and we can read it on there.
Oh my god.
No, I'm gonna scan them in, and I'm gonna do like a YouTube video with them. To my pitch to Disney.
Well, there you go.
And who's it? Brian Coogler? Is that his name?
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler, yeah. Yeah, I'll pitch it to him too. I'll tag him on Twitter or something.
Do it.
Do it. All right,
Okay.
so that's it for today, man. I'm cashed out, and
did
this
it.
kid is just like walking in my office nonstop anyway.
Yeah, I could see it. You're
All
going
right,
nuts.
so that's it for Spider-Man Far From
Spider-Man?
Home, or
Maybe?
Spider-Man 2, or The
Sure.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't know. Maybe. I'd like to think that that Happy at least got a happy ending from Aunt May. So there we go.
Dun dun
That's-
dun dun.
Segue into our happy ending. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. So with that, go watch Spidey. Hopefully you like it. If you don't, it's okay. You won't be the only one. This guy. So anyway, later, Michael, and later, nerds.
Later. P-C-E. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch this episode and more at soundcloud.com/Operation Babble or iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play at Operation Babble or YouTube at Myke Shrews, MYKESHREWS. Have a great day, guys. Peace.